Um, Greetings, fellow humanity or whatever you want to call it out there. Thank you for joining us. I think we've got a breaking news now. So this is quite something given the situation all over the world, and we still keep getting this type of attacks on nation without any recourse to rules. And the truth is that there are no rules really. There has never been. The rule has always been to favor the people with power. And this is something that we have to learn from. So the breaking news is that President of Venezuela, um, I think Maduro, has been captured by the U.S. and Trump claims that they are going to be taking him to they are going to be taking him to the U.S. To face drug charges. The U.S. president, the Maduro president, is going to be facing drug charges. Can he come get Tinubu, the rigged president? Yeah, I can assure you he's not going to get that one. That one is not his business. That one is doing everything he wants. Why would he get him? And this president, the last election, when I checked it, I was surprised to see that the election he ran, that they ran in, he won about 51.2% of the vote. That's Maduro got 51.2% of the vote. And the opposition, Edmundo Gonzalez, got 44.2% of the vote. Turnout of that election was 59%. So, from what I can see here, this doesn't look like a total dictator. I don't understand. I do know why, but it doesn't stack up to just remove a leader because America doesn't like that leader. That's what is happening here. America doesn't like the leader. They want to remove the leader for whatever reason that they want to remove the leader for. The leader, Maduro, did say that he wanted to have conversations about access to oil. The world now is a gangster field. The world is a gangster field, and I've been warning about this to fellow Nigerians and maybe black people in general. I've been warning about it that we think things cannot go back to the way it was before or even get worse. Personally, I think it might actually get worse. And people don't listen. They are waiting until they see the handwriting on the wall before they actually know. If they can take out a leader like, well, what do you think your leaders have? I don't even know the security posture of Venezuela. Let me check the security posture of Venezuela just to give an idea of what is happening. Venezuelan military size. So let me check that out. Active personnel across army, which is not the small military. From what I can see here, it says they have at least 123,000 active personnel. That is high. Let me check his population because for that population, that's quite high. Population, let's see, 29 million. So that is quite high for such a small population. And if that is a strong military, then the Venezuelan government hasn't fallen. You see what I mean? And if that is a strong military that is really dedicated to their job, the government hasn't fallen. Even if you capture their president, it doesn't mean anything. The vice president just takes over and carries on running the country. But what this spells is the problem that I actually highlighted last year during the attack on Iran. Because China and India, China, Russia, maybe India too, you can say, they pretend as if they don't see what is happening. They just ignore it. And question is why. You can argue, in my own case, one of the reasons why I think China is avoiding getting involved in all this is because one, China knows they are not ready. Based on reports that came out, a couple of years ago, they said it will be somewhere around 2027, 2028 before China becomes quite ready to, even if he wants to take on the US, he can take on the US. That's one. And maybe that's why the US is doing all this now, very, very quickly, trying to clear the deck before then. Or it could be because China, in a way, and Russia, they are in cahoots with the West in what they are doing. Um, there is only one person that has actually said that. Only one person has actually said that the West, the Chinese, in short, what the person described it was it's about power. That the power structures have decided that they are going to do certain things, and the rest of the world just has to take it. And so that is what is happening. And this the context this professor was stating this was that the what was going on in Gaza. The reason why you don't see nations just come out and start, threatening Israel or threatening America or causing so much problem is because they are all signed on to it. And I'm watching the world and I'm trying to see whether that makes sense. And I'm beginning to think maybe it makes sense, except I see otherwise. Because you can't have a situation, because if you look at the situation before, when the Soviet Union was around, America used to do these things. Let's face it, I think America removed a couple of presidents, head of states in South America during that time. That was a terrible time. They were removing heads of state left and right, left and right. I mean, and apart from Fidel Castro that we all know of, they couldn't get rid of Fidel Castro, and they struggled for decades to get rid of that one. They couldn't. According to Trump, if he pays $1 million, he can get immunity. So where is the justice? I don't think Trump will give him immunity, because the reason why they're after him is either for something you don't even know. And this is the thing about public consumption. What we see in public, what we see is not truly what they are truly after. They're after something else. Either it's because they want to deny China access to those resources, or they want to just steal the oil, because now that's what America seems to be doing. That they just steal people's oil. And when we say they steal the oil, it means that the American state is not getting the money. It's just some powerful people in America that are just taking the money. That's what I mean by theft. If not, basically what they do is they basically steal people's oil. So now, when they go there and remove this president, the next president that will come in can just say, you know what, look at our oil reserve. You and your guys just take those ones, take it for free. We are not even going to put it on our official paper. This is the kind of theft that is going on, that is funding most of all this stuff that you see around the world. At least what happened in Syria, it kind of showed that truth. Because I was surprised when somebody told me that, do you know America is just stealing Syrian oil till today? That was before Assad fell. That America was just taking their oil. But I never heard that America was getting oil from Syria and bringing it back to the US. No, he said, no, they're not using, the US military is just using their oil for free. They didn't have any say in it. That is the world we live in. And my God, Africans are totally unprepared for it. Totally unprepared for it. We are basically as naked as anything comes. We are totally defenseless. We are totally weak. We can't stand any heat at all. Maduro's Venezuela is not totally weak in terms of manpower. That's why they didn't have a lot of terrorist attacks and all the rest. The only attacks they've had is from America. So the country is relatively secure in terms of security, at least domestic security. Where they lack power is external threat. They don't have power. They don't have the capacity to defend themselves against external threat as well. That is why America can go in and capture a president. And maybe he wasn't even hiding. I don't know how you can hide properly and America will just come and take you. There's no way that will happen if he was properly defended. Maybe he wasn't hiding, and his attitude indicated that maybe he didn't even care about hiding, because he was like coming out in the open, say, America, let's stop peace. He was singing, what was that song? I think, was it the Beatles song? Maduro was singing this Beatles song. I think something about peace, that he should make peace and stuff like that. So he's not very into this conflict, and he's not very offensive in terms of conflict. And this is going to be interesting how South American countries respond, because if South American countries don't respond, we are in trouble here, because this is going to go and go and go. And look at this one. You see, I hope you are not African saying Trump is king, because you don't know what you're asking for. You don't know if you know what you're asking for. In short, You know what? Maybe Trump should be king. Let Trump be king, and then let us see the answer to that. Let's see what it means for us. And when we see it, then maybe, just maybe, we will actually be a serious people. Because clearly we are not ready. We are reactionaries. When something happens, that's when we react. We don't prepare for danger. We don't prepare for recession. We don't prepare for hardship. We wait until hardship hits us, then we react. This is what we do. And it's really, really sad. And so what is going on out there. And I've been warning about this for years. Our people are just not ready. They are simply not ready. The only power we have right now is, in a way, just a bit of soft power. That's what we have. Where if Trump decides to go into Africa the way he's doing, if he tries to do that in Africa and get caught up in a war, the whole world will turn against the US. In short, there's going to be a lot of black Americans that will turn against the US, and other parts of the world will turn against the US, and it's going to be a big problem. However, that is soft power. What if they just come in and they want to take a president? Imagine President Tinubu. President Tinubu is easy target, like, given that we even have less protection than Maduro has. Maduro's security forces are more densely populated in that country than Nigeria. Nigeria is it's a far easier target than this guy. That is how defenseless we are. And this country is about 30 million. 30 million in population or so, while Nigeria is well over 230 million. And yet we have even less defenses for our own leaders. This is what happens. This is what happens when your leader is not defended. That's what you get. They will come and take him. And if you are looking at if it was because of democracy, this guy Kagame is more of a dictator than this guy. Because clearly the election he won it by 52%. That is not an election it's not a landslide. Tanzanian president won her election by more than 90% of the vote. Egypt, many of these countries are allies of the West. So Egypt, the president wins the election by over 90%. So this is not about democracy. This is not about dictatorship. It's about just raw power. I don't like you. I want you out of my way. That is it. I want to take your oil for myself. Me and my guys here, my oil guys, they want to take it for free. Not even buy it a little bit, buy it at cheap price. No, take it for free. That's basically it. So that is what is going on. Forefathers, how do you know Tinubu is not under arrest now by Trump? I don't know whether he's not under arrest, but I don't see any reason why Tinubu wants to arrest Trump wants to arrest him. Trump has zero reason to arrest Tinubu. Tinubu is doing everything he wants. Don't you see? You see, Maduro is doing what the poor people in Venezuela want. That makes him an enemy. Maduro nationalized the oil company in Venezuela, and giving a lot of support to the poorest people in that country. If he was a capitalist and not supporting the poorest people in that country, I don't think Trump will have any issue with him. That's the problem. If you try to care for people a lot, you face this problem. That is the problem. And Venezuela is not a very, very large country. And I must say their security posture too is not very aggressive. Maybe because they are around America, so they don't want to be too aggressive and make it look like they are the ones threatening America's security. Because sometimes, if you try to defend yourself, they make it look like you are threatening them, and then even when you don't defend yourself, then they attack you anyway. So there is no win. The only solution is just be strong and hope that when they come for you, you give them a lot of trouble, and make sure that before they take you, it will be very hard. But clearly you can see that he has been captured, so he didn't make it very hard for them to capture him. I'm not sure is when you don't want to be captured, you can avoid capture as a leader. If you don't want to be captured, you can avoid capture, because Castro was able to do it. Not only Castro, the person that came after Castro was able to do it too. So it tells you that it is possible to avoid American capture. But maybe Maduro wasn't looking to do that for whatever reason. I don't even know why he would want to be captured in any way. This could be tricky for America too, because they are trying to accuse him of being a drug cartel leader. I don't know how you accuse this guy of being a drug cartel leader when he's got so much this in oil. The whole thing is a joke. The whole thing is a total joke. How do you accuse somebody with so much oil reserve for being a drug dealer? How does that even happen? This is the world we live in now. This is a joke of a world we live in, where I'm not even sure it's a joke. It's the true world we live in, where reality is actually being unveiled for people to truly see that this world is a kind of that when you go to schools, nursery schools or primary schools, the bully is the one that controls the playground. Yeah, the bullies control the playground in the world. That's how it works. That's how it's always worked. Everything you used to see before, it's all false. It's not real. The real power behind the scene is still that same dynamics. That's why for me, it's easier for me to analyze the world. Most people get caught up with rules, World Trade Organization rules, UN, what was the Development Goal Index, whatever index that they want to measure. In the end, it's just all about power and control, and that's what you are seeing here at play. Is it that he's a dictator? The result of the election does not indicate that. He didn't win even a landslide. Is it that he refused to give them oil? He tried to talk to them to give them oil. They refused to talk to him because they don't like him. Maybe they want the oil very, very cheap, or they don't like the fact that he's sue free, nationalize the oil companies, and also even giving China access to its natural resources. That last one may be stronger than anything else. The fact that he wants to have independence to trade with whoever he likes. After all, America is trading with China. You see how hypocritical the whole situation is. America does business with China, trades with China, does everything with China. But if other people do it, how dare you? How dare you do that? Because if you do that, China will get what it wants. So everybody has to go through America for everything. That is the world you are living in now. This world is a gangster world. As a matter of fact, this might be the first shot in the Third World War. This might actually be it. I might be mistaken. That professor that I spoke about earlier on may be correct when he said that the Russia, China, India, many of the powers have already decided what direction they want to go. That we are here. Maybe the Berlin Conference, the new Berlin Conference has already happened. In other words, that's basically what that professor was saying. Maybe he didn't use that term, but I'm using that term to simplify it for you. That maybe the new Berlin Conference has already happened. That's why he didn't see Russia react to Syria. He didn't see them react significantly to, they didn't even react to Iran being attacked. All they come out and do is do condemnation. Condemn, I condemn, I condemn. We are here thinking that they are rivals, while they may have already decided to share the world. I've wondered about this, and I've wondered about it. And if that is the case, don't bother. It's over. Don't bother. It's already over. Our fate is sealed. Whether we survive or not survive is in their hands now. It's not in ours. Because this kind of stuff that happens when you don't take your survival seriously. Shame, I became aware of some of all this stuff late in the day. Look at that one. Saying Nigeria is next. Look at this one. Nigeria is next. Okay, maybe Nigeria is next in terms of coming to take whatever we have and this impoverish us even further. I hope some of all these Nigerians are not thinking that, America is some kind of benevolent leader that will come in. America had one of the most brutal chattel slavery in the world. If you think life is hard now, just hope when they show up and take whatever else is left, they mean to treat you like a human being at all. Just hope so. Because some of the people that are working with Americans have been known to sterilize people without their knowledge. When they start giving your women contraceptives that will prevent them from having children for decades, then you know. People don't know the evil you're asking for. But when it comes, it will be too late, and it may already be too late. If that professor is right, it may already be too late. We should be careful what we are asking for. And if that is the case, my only hope is that whatever plan they've got in place does not involve anything resembling as cruel as what we've seen in the past. As cruel as it is, what we are experiencing now, what you see in Nigeria now, where people can go to hospital without feeling as if they are in danger. You can't go to your farm. Everything is so difficult to do in Nigeria now. Imagine if it gets worse. Just imagine if it gets worse. And there are so many layers of struggle that is going on in the world today. We think it's only us. It's not only we as Africans and as Black people, even the Europeans themselves, like people in Trump's country and in Europe, they're also facing a struggle because there's also a struggle of wealth distribution where the world is becoming more and more automated. The populations of the world will have to deal with the world in such a way that they can be able to contain these billionaires and trillionaires. They are becoming trillionaires now. They are so rich, they are so powerful. They control this platform that I sit on, and they control everything. And their populations are almost powerless. So that's another layer of struggle that is going on. And while all these little wars are going on right now, that main layer, God knows whether their people are going to be paying attention to it, because nobody's paying. Nobody's truly engaged in that real war from the point of view of the Western population themselves and Asian population. That is another struggle altogether. There are about at least three major struggles. We, for us, have one of them. As a matter of fact, we will have to engage in all three of them to survive. Europeans have to engage in just about one. The superpowers have to engage in about two of them. They have to engage in their own arrangement of power between themselves, which are these powerful oligarchs and all the rest. They have to arrange in that struggle while they also struggle with their own population to control them based on, the advent of automation. Then the people of those countries have a major problem on their own. That one, they have one big war that they have to fight. How to control these powerful trillionaires in such a way that they don't make them destitute. They don't even make them maybe just like us, just as oppressed as people like us. Because if you're not careful, that's the direction the world is going. Technology is kind of putting so much power in the hands of very few. That's what is going on. So we have three wars to fight. The powerful people in the West and the Asian continent, and maybe even Africa, have just two. And the European population, the Chinese population, the Asian population, all of them, they will have one major one to fight. It's just three different conflicts. And it just shows you how terrible the fate of Africans are, and most Black people. Is three we have to fight. We have to fight for our own survival first, that we survive. Then we also have to fight for the super rich and the super powerful not to take us out, and in terms of oppressors, including our own people, by the way, are super rich too. And then we also have to fight for our place in the world in terms of jostling for power, like the other powerful nations. We have to. So that's a tall order. I don't see us being able to engage in all three. We can barely deal with one. We can't even deal with the one we have inside our country. Maybe it's four, because we have an internal problem too that we have not dealt with. So this is a problem, and I need. I don't have my phone. My phone is having a bit of a problem, and those people that come in, I will need some details to be able to reach the channel's WhatsApp, because Pansat, what have you got to say now? Your king has done his duty. Your king has taken out Maduro. Has caught Maduro now and shipping him off to America. I don't know what they are going to accuse him of. How do you accuse somebody that has so much oil of drug trafficking? It's just stupid. The entire thing is a sham. And Nigerians, if you people that are supporting Trump, you have to ask yourself, how is this just? How is this even just? There are many terrible regimes out there. Terrible ones out there, and I assure you, there are many terrible ones. But many of our Nigerians, because they say, oh, Venezuela is going through hardship because they're under sanction and it's Maduro's fault. What do you want him to do? Sell the people out? Then when your leaders sell you out, you complain. I don't know what our people want. Do you think if you keep bowing for foreigners, it's going to lead you to salvation? It will not. What you will get is what you have in Nigeria right now. If your leaders keep bowing to foreigners, what you will get is what you have in Nigeria and what you have in many African countries. At least Maduro stood his ground. They had to come and take him away. He has honor. What did he do other than give the poorest people in his country wealth, support them so that they don't suffer to death? That's all he did, and that is his sin, because he dares to think from the point of view of the left. He's not even like the proper socialist. He's just thinking from the left. The country is still capitalist. He's willing to talk to Americans. He was willing to give them oil. So what is the problem? The problem is that you are not allowed to be free. You can't be free as a nation. You can't be free of anything. They can just make up stuff and attack you. That's it. You go and accuse somebody that has one of the, I think if I'm not mistaken, the largest oil reserve in the world of drug trafficking. How ridiculous is that? Is this same tactics that was used against Haiti, but the president wasn't even arrested. They just murdered the guy. They just murdered what is that his name again? Jesus Christ, the Haitian president. Oh, what a man. Let me see, I'll find his name. Haitian. Oh man, that guy, he's dead. Till today, Haitians haven't recovered from it. And Haitian then assassinated. Yeah, I have to use his name because it's only fair. His name is Jovenel Moïse. Jovenel Moïse was the president of Haiti, and the way he was assassinated was, from what I gather, was that some security forces came to his gate and said that they are, and I think DLA, Drug Law Enforcement Agency of the US, coming to arrest the president of another country. And that's how they made it into his compound, and he was murdered brutally in that attack. Or murdered brutality. Today, Haiti has not survived that. After then, political impasse, earthquake hit them, or I think it's earthquake or flooding, one of them hit the country, caused a lot of damage, and the gangs went out of control. The country you see today. Punishment for not towing the line that they tell you to tow 100%. The world is not what it seems. It's not what it seems at all. It's always been what it's always been. And all those people that are worrying about indexes, corruption index, human development index, human capital, this, that, all that is talk. If you understand power, you understand the world. Everything falls in place. And I've been warning and talking about this over and over again. Nigeria needs to secure itself. Nigerians are actually focused on their own leader. They would rather. I'm telling you, the Nigerians will be happy. It will be happy today if Trump came and kidnapped Tinubu and take him this away. As a matter of fact, many African countries would be happy for Trump to come and kidnap their leader and take them away. That is how sad our whole situation is. How many European countries will be proud of that? And I think this is the superpower of Europeans. They know how to close ranks when they need to. Even when many of the European countries didn't like the war in Ukraine, they still close ranks. They always close ranks. That is their true superpower. Even Asia doesn't close rank like the Europeans do. And Asians have, Europeans have caused each other far more pain than any other group. They've caused each other quite a lot of pain, and yet they are still willing to close ranks when the time comes. Support each other, back each other up. If you go and try to attack, let's say, Spain or Greece today, you're going to see all of them. They will come together immediately. All of them gang up against you. But African countries, you come and try to attack one African country, their own people will be jubilating for them to take their people away. Now let's compare the ledger. Which people are doing better? The one that is jubilating that they take their leaders away, or the one that defends their people? Oh no, they can't touch Russia. Russia, no, see, that's my problem now. Russia may even be part of this whole thing now. I think I will see if I can find that video and play it, because I'm really, really getting a little bit anxious about it, because if that is the case, our bread is already fried. In short, what do they call it? I think there's a term they use for it. That the die is already cast. We are done. We are done. Now, the question is, how long is this new set of bondage going to last? Is it 100 years? Is it 200 years? Or is it 300 years? Or maybe forever until we go extinct? If that is the case, let's pray that is not the case. And personally, I will just make my peace with it and say, you know what? I've done, since my eyes open to this, I said what I need to say. Then the rest that are jubilating that all this is happening, let them live with the consequences. Let them live with the consequence of what they have already called for. They like colonization. They like oppression. Hey, recolonization. Oh, look at that. He literally came with the recolonization title. Well, we are in serious predicament here. What is really exercising me about this is, what if a new Berlin conference has already been reached, and now they are just going to come, take whatever they like, divide whatever they like, join whatever they like, and just control whatever they like? And if China has signed up to it, if Russia has signed up to it, and India has signed, in short, once those two sign up to it, India will sign up to it. India wouldn't have a choice then, because India is not going to be subject to the same oppression, because India is quite powerful. It's a nuclear power. It's a spacefaring nation. The ones that are not are the ones that are going to be on the table for lunch. And Africa, the entire Africa is on the table for lunch. And Trump, this thing, what they call it, South America, the same thing they will face. Apart from Brazil, I think Brazil it's a nuclear threshold nation. You can go nuclear if you need to. So, and Brazil, they are almost white too, but they are quite Spanish in Portuguese, I mean, in their elite class. So this is the situation we are facing, and I know many of our people hold the view that this is a good thing. This country, I will make this clear again. The election that they are saying this guy rigged, he won it by 52% of the vote. The opposition got 42%, and then 59% turnout. It's not like Kagame that is an ally to the West. It's not like Egypt, that many of these Egypt won 90% of the votes. There's barely no opposition in those countries. Tanzania, 97% of the votes. The idea that this has anything to do with rigging an election, or has anything to do with dictatorship, or even drug dealing, like the guy, they are calling him a drug dealer. This guy has at his disposal one of the largest oil reserves in the world. He actually has the largest oil reserve in the world. Why does he need to do drug dealing? Does that even make sense? But this is the world we live in. You can, if you want to kill a dog, you just call it a bad name, and that's it. And these days, I fear nobody is there to protect other nations. We thought BRICS was there to protect, but I don't see BRICS doing anything. BRICS is just sitting down there and watching Trump do whatever he likes. So let me, The Voice. Thank you for joining us, The Voice. Let me just get a few sample views on what they make of this Maduro attack. Thank you for joining us. The Voice. Yeah, welcome. Thank you for joining us. What do you make of it?
In fact, I think I've said it better than I should similar views in a lot of areas, and we've had this conversation before. We've had this conversation
Have
before,
we?
and it was like I think what
I
brought
can't
about that
recognize you. Your
conversation
camera
was,
is still facing up. I can't recognize you.
oh, okay,
Hmm.
yeah, okay. I have to reposition and get the cable right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
You see, you, you analyze the whole thing. Everywhere these people went, they went together in spite of all their differences. They were always together. And it's like the way you said it, yeah, heaven have mercy. We might be going into another slavery that will last for how many centuries again, like they did. Um, it's obvious now that Trump is following the agenda as usual. And I'm not surprised that Netanyahu is also threatening that he will bomb Nigeria. So they want to turn Nigeria to another Syria Libya case. So I couldn't have said it better. You touch on all areas. Where I see it now is maybe we still have that little chance in Nigeria. And that little chance is also, like you said, is soft because it's dependent on the way maybe supposedly allies like Russia would react, not only talk, or China will react, not only talk. But we have been dancing on many marriages. Tinubu spent how many months in France? It reminded me of Gaddafi again. You dine with these people, you die for it. You cannot be friends to be bitter. You know that famous statement of Henry Kissinger: to be a friend is dangerous, but to be to be an enemy is dangerous. An enemy of America is dangerous, but to be a friend of America is fatal because it does not end well. I'm not
Wow.
sure if I should drop this. I intended to have this as in private conversation with you. You know, I've been out for some time, offline for some time.
Yeah. Mm.
Um, I dug into many materials I was speaking about these Latin materials on our ancient history. Is the one I've been working on. So I will exchange stuff with you private here, um, so that I can let you see some of the things that I have been able to uncover about Nigeria history. I think it will help us. It will
Okay.
unite the nation. Because if you have a united Nigeria, we are a force to reckon with.
That's true.
We're a force to reckon with. Bro, let me just quickly drop this sentence before the next brother drops in. What is in the Latin something will shock everyone that is a thinker among us. And I know this panel has a lot of thinkers on ground. No wonder they wipe out a lot of history of what happened in the last 400 years. And it is only recorded in Latin. If it's not because of this tool, AI, I would not have been able to break it down.
Wow.
Bro, I'm not surprised. Oh. Please, my brother, forgive me. I'm not surprised that Nigeria is a target. It goes beyond all these resources, bro.
Yeah, it definitely does.
It goes beyond these resources. In fact, there are some areas where they came to the 1950s. They searched, the Arabs searched, because they knew that our forefathers at the time, before the destruction came in, the things that their Jesuit priests, when they came to spy us, what they saw, they had already hidden them. That is the story of the Ark of Covenant. Nigeria was ancient Ethiopia, not Negroland, as we saw on some of the maps. And he broke it down to how we got the names, how they took our history to create the modern Ethiopia. And then the star, the famous star, the so-called Star of David, it's an Ifa. I'm not joking, bro. It is in Latin there. It's an Ifa symbol, and all the priests that they saw in this temple in Benin, because the Benin kingdom was the reason why they destroyed Benin. Benin had to be destroyed, was the last of the kingdoms they had to destroy. And because of the massiveness of Benin, it took them 14 years to plan here in Germany for the destruction of Benin. All that one is also in our hands, my brother. But the main thing is for our people to be able to get to a particular place, and it's at Ile-Ife. That one we have to not say it online. Is to get to the other place. It's about reset, bro, and you have talked about it. And we still have time on our hands. We still have time, but now is the time for us to start talking to one another first.
That's
and
true.
then the Igbo, those who are my Igbo people, they will now see that Biafra is one label. Like also the Israel or Judah that you see on the maps, they were all labels, because it was out of our history the Bible was constructed. It was out of our the Quran was constructed. And then I have also evidences from the Greeks, from the Romans, that the place where they call Niger today was the one that was the Holy Land in ancient time, and it was the one duplicated to create Middle East. So all the things that's happening in the world now is also directed to us. Then the big part where I got the back of my artificial intelligence that I'm using. The artificial intelligence I'm using, and I will tell all brothers to try it. If you are subscribed, let it cool in the language of your mother, whether you are Edo or you are Igbo. I'm Yoruba. I use Yoruba. Then I now fed it the Odu, the Odu-Ifa. One thing I encoded was, I'm sorry I'm talking too long, my people. One thing I encoded was, Ifa was the one that built those pyramids that we are seeing in Egypt, and we have the facts, even in their manuscripts.
Okay.
And we were the last people that they conquered. We were the last, because they are eating around us on all areas, but they were still holding tight. Then, as we always call them in Yoruba land, Odale, some of our people who had converted to Roman Catholicism, because it is, when they talk about Roman,
can we restrict it to this thing? Let's not change. Hello, can you hear me? Let's not change the topic so that other people can chime in on this, because this is not supposed to go long.
Any brother who just is interested in our ancient history, because our children must know these things, my brother. I will still put full stop. I'm sorry, my brother. Please forgive me.
Yeah, thank you for I really appreciate your submission, and this is a very, very it's a kind of first shot, and maybe it started last year with the Gaza war, Iran attack, Syrian attack. So he's been ticking on. He's been ticking on, and we saw how Israel recognized Somaliland. They are already reshaping the world, and Russia too is taking some part of Ukraine. So they are all reshaping it as they see fit, depending on how much power they have. And Nigeria is just sitting there like a sitting duck. If anything, if Nigeria was ready, Nigeria could have been playing the game too. The other day we were saying that maybe Nigeria should take Niger, take Benin, take this thing. So we too have we start packing punches, We start packing punches, taking other territories. So since the whole world is at it now, we have joined the club. Recolonization. Thank you for joining us. I get the feeling that I do have an idea of where you lie in this debate, but I don't know. For all I know, you may have changed a little bit your opinion. So, what do you make of the capture of Maduro? Based on what we know,
you're muted. They've captured this microphone.
Yeah. Any means of progress will not succeed. I think there's a bit of a delay, a massive delay. Okay, let's bring Bahala on. You will need to go out and come back in again. Go out and come back in. Let's bring Bahala in. Vahala, thank you for joining me today. This is going to be a brief one. At the top of the hour, this is 44 minutes. We are going to be switching off from the Dr. Damages, Iroko Post, and Injanja Media, and only go to this into Nigeria to make space for other programs that are going to be coming on live here. But I really do appreciate you all for joining us today. These are momentous occasions or situations, more like beginning of the year, the president captured, taken away to another country. Vahala, what do you make of it with the capture of Maduro?
Muted. Okay. Sorry. Well, you know my stance on these things. Like, I've been reading meaning out of the things that have been happening. Why is it echoing?
I can hear you loud and clear. It's not echoing on my end. I don't know why I can't hear the echo. People have been saying
probably, yeah, I have YouTube on and sorry. How about now?
I can hear you loud and clear. It's not echoing on my end.
Okay. You see, I've been saying this for a long time now that these things that are happening are not random. The geopolitical realignment has since begun.
Yeah.
And it's left for you to take care of yourself as a nation, as a country. If you don't already in policy rooms and boardrooms, our fates are already being decided. But nobody will sit down and decide the fate of King Jong-un and his people. Yeah, because they know the consequences of that. And that's the reason why a lot of us have been shouting. You see, in our case, forefathers, I think we have an enemy within. It's that kind of enemy that you fear most, the fifth columnist, because every country that has ever unraveled, it did not fall to tanks or missiles. It fell to people inside the house who quietly unlocked the doors. When we talk about fifth columnists, we are not talking about movie villains or foreign people with foreign accents, the way some people think. We are talking about locals, credentialed, articulate, sometimes even respected. But those people, they launder foreign interests through domestic language. People who frame destabilization as activism, sabotage as grievance, and division as some form of moral righteousness. Yeah, this is how the modern destabilization works. Because if you have an agenda on Nigeria, it's too expensive, like to deploy a military to come and destabilize Nigeria is too expensive. This is how you will do it. No foreign power needs to invade Nigeria. It's just narrative capture. That narrative capture. Voices inside Nigeria who can amplify distrust, through hidden religious absolutism, ethnic suspicion. And if you can get some of us to have this institutional cynicism to the point that, oh my God, until the country can no longer stand at one and do things like an indivisible entity any longer. Once that happens, the state will spend all its energy trying to quell and put out internal fires. Oh God. And then actors will move freely around it.
You know what you said about internal enemies? It reminds me of the Haitian president. Yeah, thank you. I'll get you on now. It reminds me of the Haitian president. Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, before I wasn't hearing you. So it reminds me when you said about the internal enemies, it reminds me of the Haitian president.
Yeah.
They came with DLA, Drug Law Enforcement of the USA, to his gates. And somehow they were able to go into the compound.
The vice president of Maduro is being alleged to be a CIA spy. She's the insider.
Okay, we'll see. So let me. I wanted to let you,
Allegedly.
hold on. I wanted to let you know about Moise, an example of something like this. This guy,
Yeah.
president of a country, they came in, assassinated him, killed him, and none of his guard was injured. None of his guards were injured, and this is specific for. This is
Typical.
one of the worst cases I've ever seen. Foreign entity coming to your country, assassinate your president, and no guard was injured. Till today, we still haven't gotten a light what happened there.
They did that to another one. Is it in Panama?
Yeah.
I think America have done something like this before.
They've done it many times.
Yeah.
But you know, that time it was only
Finish your
cable
submission
on
so I can
TV
bring
people
a
had.
resolution.
No, people didn't have access to information like today.
Finish your submission so that I can bring.
All right, so I think you see what is happening for a country like Nigeria and the way Trump is approaching us. You know, once there is this destabilization within the entity called Nigeria. That is how exactly places like DRC are formed. Because the country will become a permanent battlefield without a single decisive war. You have competing militias, external sponsors, internal collaborators, and there will be endless grievances. No center strong enough to hold and enforce order and incorporate order. There will be that center will be no more. And there will be no consensus. You know, a consensus at least that will be enough to demand some form of justice. And the problem with Nigeria is already showing that those symptoms. You know, it's just like we are already ailing, and then you deny us food.
Wahala, those symptoms that you
Yeah.
who's responsible for it?
I'm listening.
Who's responsible for those symptoms that you've highlighted? Is it
Oh no, it's not the time for looking for responsibility. I've passed that myself personally. I want to survive, so I'm just thinking of solutions. I don't want anybody to point fingers. That is immaterial. You see, we are here now.
I'm not saying
How do we move forward is what is my problem. That is why I'm just looking for patriots who have a mission, and then I can join that mission.
then you're not going to get anywhere. The point is, you have to highlight why a country like Venezuela is so weak that in less than 1 hour they're taking the president out. They have been preparing for this for the last 1 year, and in 1 hour they took him out. I'm sorry, we need to stop that. If this guy, they can build an institution, they can build an army to defend their own president.
Yeah, I think what happened was that the country itself, their security posture is way higher than that of Nigeria. Nigeria is very not compared to Nigeria is a kindergarten compared to them. However, what they didn't have was offensive capability to defend their.
Offensive capability. Iraq was able to finish.
I don't think he was hiding though. I don't think he was really hiding. Maybe that's the problem.
And maybe it's going to hide jungle.
Yeah, because he comes out on this on this in rallies. He comes out on rallies, so I'm not sure, because if he was hiding, even a criminal is harder to find. So I don't think he was really hiding.
Forefathers, you don't want to think of letters about African third world leaders. They think it's not going to happen. They think it's not going to happen to them. There's a kind of arrogance that hey, it's not going to happen. So when you've been in power for so long that they don't know that they're not invincible, and I think that's what happened. Because you live in a jungle. I saw the aircraft. They got drones. They far better superior. Their army is superior to the Nigerian army, and yet they could come in 1 hour, take you out with helicopters that we saw Ukraine shooting down. And helicopters coming and bomb your country. You're not even shooting them down. I'm sorry. This is really, really confusing.
Yeah, they couldn't. They see. I don't. My suspicion is that because if you look at the Burkina Faso leader Traore and the other leaders in Africa, they couldn't take them out. So it tells you that either this guy wasn't looking to hide. That's my thinking, because the deductive reasoning says that if he was looking to hide, he would make it harder for them to find him.
Yeah,
because they are looking for AS leaders, but they can't remove them. They tried to remove them a couple of times. They couldn't. So they didn't succeed.
Oh, they're trying very hard, surrounding their country. The oil, they're trying very hard.
And they are even less defended compared to Maduro. Maduro has more manpower in terms of his military than AES these nations.
I saw it. You know,
sorry. You came before. You came.
Sorry.
Recolonization was first. Let's go with it.
Sorry, I was very greedy. Sorry about that, sir.
Recolonization, thank you for coming back, and I'm glad your audio issue has been sorted. So what do you make of these events? Maduro, the country being attacked, the seaport, people think it's only this thing. You can see explosions everywhere. If they want to capture only one man, why are they blowing up so many things in the country?
They're taking up his army.
Yeah, the seaport, they said the seaport was also attacked. What do you make of it, recolonization?
Yeah, guys, well done. Thank you very much. You see, let me tell you something, forefather. You can see the headline on my name right now.
Yes.
It means a lot. I don't know whether you thought about it or anybody have imagined what is this, but I'm sure we all understand what that means.
Yeah.
Forefather, I'm in the camp of Africans who believe that if you cannot take care of yourself, because when we are talking about what is happening in the world today, we have to look, first of all, deep in our heart, and then we try to speak the truth, to at least 50% truth. I don't say that we should speak the 100% truth, but though I speak 100% truth because that is how my life is, and that's why I don't have friends, because many human beings don't like the truth, because they are accomplices to the truth. You understand? So now you're asking me, what do I feel about this Maduro? Any president that is not loved by 70% of his people is a bad president. No matter what we think, oh, America is this, they want to take over the whole world, we want this. I know that conspiracy theory that many people think, like what, for example, our country, Nigeria, when they say that they want to help us solve this, our insecurity, we know many people, you are one of them, and other people, oh, they're coming for our thing. America they just don't do anything for free. They're after our resources. But the problem is, how popular is these people controlling that country? Yes. Maduro, for example, if 65% of Venezuelans are in support of him, American can't come into that country and do anything. But the problem is that this guy is punishing the country, one of the richest countries in the world. He refused to compromise, because government is, you have to think that there's other people too. You cannot
hold on. Recolonization. Sorry, Gidi, let me just share something with recolonization, because Maduro stands for the poor people in the country, the poorest people in that country. That's why they nationalize their oil resources.
It comes from them.
Yes, it comes from them. That's what Hugo Chavez represents. Yeah. So it's like you now fighting for Nigerian poor and marginalized groups, and then that person comes and gets taken away by Trump based on a charge that he is a drug baron, and when he has the largest oil reserve in the world. Does that make sense to you?
Father, before that, they strangled the country for years.
Yes, with sanctions.
So the wicked,
you say you are interested in the truth. Don't run away from this truth.
The wicked country to the
point that is the truth. Excuse me, guys. You see, you see something. You know, when you want to talk about, I know what the world or most of the educated people in the world think about America. Let us start from there. We know what most people think about America.
Is it true or not?
Well, listen now, I'm trying to use you. That's why I'm saying that.
Because you said you are interested in the truth. I want you to stay consistent in the truth.
Yeah, the truth is what we are saying. Because the truth, what can be truth for you might not be truth for me. What can be truth for me might not be truth for you. That is where I'm coming.
So we need to agree on what is true.
Yes,
we have some agreements. Okay,
that is where I'm placing my foundation so that you guys can understand me properly. First of all, let us start with what many people think about America. Some people think America, some people hate America. Do you know why? America want to be the police of the world. First of all, that is what this is what many people don't like about America. Many so-called, I call them confused people, because they will claim that they are very educated and they don't, you know what I mean? But when they want to talk about the truth, example, Nigeria, for example, we know what is happening in Nigeria. We know the oppression of the poor in Nigeria. It has been going on for years. So many people of this class I'm talking about don't want Nigeria to change by other people. They prefer that we should stay like this and the poor cannot help themselves, because the poor cannot save Nigeria, for example. Okay? We did an election 2023. I'm coming to your question, but I'm just giving an example. We did an election 2023. The people of Nigeria were tired of these guys. Peter Obi was voted in, but we all knew what happened at the end of it. Maduro came in. I know that we say that, oh, he's from the poor, he's from this, he's from that. They don't want to. They're against him because America want to take over the oil and whatever.
Trump said it openly.
Yeah, before Trump came in, this thing has been going on for about 4 or 5 years now.
No,
way before that. I'm telling you, years ago, more than 10 years ago, Trump said it.
15 years ago.
Excuse me, bros. Let me learn so that you people can continue to educate me. But what I'm trying to tell you, we have to look beyond Trump, beyond America, beyond, and go into the people in that country. How many refugees have left Venezuela for these recent times because they cannot cope with the strangulation, according to this brother, of what America is doing to Venezuela? Okay. What is the cause of the strangulation? Because me, I like when I want to choke my mouth for a country, I've done my own research. I've read about that country. That's why I'm contributing into this issue. If not, I'm not somebody who likes to talk.
Yeah, Nicholas, tell us. Go to the point. What
yeah, that's the point I'm going. But you people are trying to tell me about the truth. You know.
Tell us.
The point is what I've said from beginning. Maduro is not defending the poor in Venezuela.
The point of what is the point of the strangulation?
The point of strangulation is because he wants to sit on the power, and he doesn't want a free and fair election in that country, which me and you have seen. All the election they did recently in Venezuela, he, even up to the level that the guy who, one of his competitors, have to run away, went to the embassy somewhere there to hide for some time and whatever, and now we know where he is. And Venezuela has come out and spoken from different class of Venezuelans about what is happening in that country. But we don't want to say anything. Everybody keeps quiet until somebody like Trump comes in and say, hey, you know what? This is enough. We have to go there and solve that problem. Then all of you come in and start saying whatever you are saying right now. Because somebody has decided to step in for the people of Venezuela. You understand me? So
let me ask you though. Let me ask you, because
just one question.
In a roundabout way, no, sorry, just hold on. Let me just ask him. In a roundabout way, I'm not trying to force you to change your opinion of what is happening. I'm just asking you to stay consistent to the truth that you say you want to hold on to. Egypt has a leader now that is allied to the West, that wins the election with 90-something% of the votes. Kagame, that's allied to the West, wins the election with 90-something% of the vote. Ivory Coast, the same thing. Many countries are doing the same thing. Some of them don't even go election, like Saudi Arabia and other. They are all allied to the West. But yeah, this guy that won the election with 52% of the vote, somehow he is the worst dictator on the face of the earth, because he's fighting for the poorer people of the country.
Case closed. Nothing to say anymore.
No, don't say case closed.
Revolution. You like to say you believe in the truth. You advocate for Showore in Nigeria. Showore is fighting for the poor masses of the country. This man is fighting for the poor masses of his country, and you are supporting America against him.
Excuse me, Forefather. You gave an example with Egypt.
He gave you 5 examples.
No, let us start with Egypt
first,
before you go to Ivory Coast, which we know what is that guy is doing there.
Kigame.
Yeah, polygamy. Okay, we know polygamy, but let me start with Egypt. When they did their revolution in Egypt, and what is that guy? Mubarak was dethroned. He left the country. Okay, so everybody was supporting that revolution until they went to the polls. When they went to the polls, what happens, forefathers? The Islamists in Egypt won the election because they believed they were majority, clear winning. Everybody saw who won the election.
Muslim Brotherhood.
They won the election clear because of the majority.
Or the poverty.
Then what happened then? Now when they came into power, they refused to accept the minorities. Don't forget that. They refused to accept that there were other people apart from the Muslims in Egypt.
In what way?
Hold on. That is not so to say. I
But
hear
we saw it now. We saw what was happening when they took power.
I'm not arguing with that point. I'm saying the government that took over was not democratic. He was winning the election with 90-something% of the vote repeatedly. That is where the point should be addressing, not the nature of the.
No, we have to start from the root now. If we start addressing,
then why are you not starting from the root with Venezuela too?
Recolonization.
You have to deal with one at a time. Don't always shoot the goalpost when it doesn't.
You gave an example. I'm trying to excuse me. You gave an example and you gave me opportunity.
I want to answer that. I want to answer what you said. Muslim Brotherhood won the election.
Brother, let me finish my talk now. I know you know a lot. Please.
No, but you're not getting to the point.
I will leave a lot. Wait, your time will come and you will have all the time. I'm sure forefather will give you all the time to say what you want to say.
I will do 2 minutes. I don't do that much.
No, it doesn't matter because you are disturbing. You are interrupting me. What they will give you enough to cut what I'm saying.
Some of the things you're saying. That's all.
When it gets to you, you correct it.
No, okay, let's get back on track. So, what do you make of a leader that wins 90% of the vote repeatedly? Because let's not worry about who came before him. What do you make of that leadership that America is backing?
Somebody who wins 98% of the vote all the time. It's not for me. I like to go to what the point is because I said to you guys,
you didn't
most
answer
of
the
you
question.
guys have made up your mind about America.
The question. You see, you say you are interested in the truth, but you didn't answer the question. What
because
do you make of
asking
somebody?
me a question that I don't know what to say to you because you guys have
the reason why you can't say anything. No, hold on. It's not about my own stand. You are fine with it when it suits your own needs.
No, if we start to suit our own needs,
you'll be able to say categorically that is not democratic.
Forefather, when we start to suit our own needs, we will not come to that equilibrium to know what is going on.
What do you say about somebody winning 97% of the votes consistently?
Of course, when you win 98% of the vote and the people of that country cannot do anything okay, let's make an example of Ouattara in Ivory Coast now, for example. We all know that guy is not supposed to be there after the second term. Okay? Everybody knows that whether he wins 100%, we all know that he's not a good guy. He removed the other brother, complained of, he came in now and now stays there. He don't want to go away. You have to now look what is in that country. What is happening? Because there are some countries you have to know what is going on in that country. How are they running their system? What of this guy in Rwanda? We know the problem of Rwanda.
But you still didn't condemn it. You still didn't condemn the fact that that's not democracy.
We have condemned it. We have condemned so many things.
No, did you say? I didn't hear you say in Egypt, the guy that is winning 97% of the vote that America is supporting.
I told you
the reason, democracy.
But I told you the reason why he's having that so-called 98%.
But the state has been like that for more than 10 years now. He could have changed it by now.
Because why? The Islamists, the Muslims, when they got that opportunity to change the system, they refused to recognize other people.
So are you saying that because hold on, are you saying, because maybe that's your argument, that if it is, correct me, are you saying that because there are Islamists in the country, then the president has a right to be getting 97% of the vote repeatedly?
What is happening in Egypt is no more democratic. There's no democracy in Egypt again because they came in, because of those who came in democratically, came in with the force of dominating Egypt without recognizing the minorities. There's no democracy in Egypt. You and me, I know that.
Okay,
What is happening in Egypt is just the military came back and they are there to keep to remove to keep peace.
It's not a military
in that
anymore.
country.
It's democracy now. They claim to be democracy.
But you
Kagame.
know there's no democracy now. Let's forget about
Okay,
claiming.
so then, okay, if there's no democracy, so I really want to try to, because there's other people watching there need to speak. So how do you narrow that with Maduro, that it's actually relatively not as dictatorial as the Egyptian president was? I think Egyptian president, this guy that is in office, 2,000 people lost their lives just in protest alone.
Yeah.
2,000.
Yeah.
That is nothing close to what happened in Lekki at all. Like, Lekki is a child's play compared to what this guy did in Egypt. That's
why I told you there's no democracy there anymore.
So I'm trying to go back to Maduro that we are talking about, because you seem to
give me a minute so that I get away. I
want to ask you a pointed question, because you say you are interested in the truth.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to try to do a gotcha here. But I really want to understand why you think the way you do, whether you are taking all the facts into account. So this Maduro now win with 52% of the vote, and he is one of the leaders. You can tell clearly his whole agenda was to help the poor people, not the rich.
Okay.
He's like Shore in Nigeria, but in your own case, because it's America, you seem to back the other side. Why?
Okay, let me tell you something. That's why I told you something, first of all. Before you see me coming, you know my style. Before I put my mouth in any matter, I've read a little bit about what is going on there. The issue in Venezuela has been going on for a long time after the Hugo Chávez died. We know what happened. When this guy came in, after he was one of his, let's say, he ordained Maduro to come in, so to say. He was one of his left-hand young guys that time. Since he came there, forefather, let us face the facts. How has he been controlling Venezuela? Okay, now he came to Venezuela. The people of Venezuela said that, when we talk on the surface, sometimes it's a little bit problem. I have a friend in my job place, just to tell you why I'm interested, why I even try to interfere in this man. Normally, if it's not Nigeria, I don't put my mouth. He has explained to me something. They told him Maduro came to power, like Shore, you say, fighting for the poor, okay? But when he came into power, the oppositions who were about to say maybe the system they were running, some people were not in support of it. They wanted to, because when we talk of democracy is numbers. Which people are winning? Okay, it's not like Nigeria where you do election doesn't count. But Maduro said, no, we don't want that. We want so thing. And then he got into trouble with the system. So now America is coming in because Venezuelans are leaving the country in droves because they cannot stay, because America says to him, if you know you cannot practice a democracy to get a real result, we are going to strangulize you. We are going, like what they did to Cuba and all those olden days. And this is what is happening. The more America puts their sanctions on that guy, things are getting bad in that country.
You had your 1 minute. Can I come in now? You had your 1 minute because
you are not the moderator, please. Please, you are getting okay. Let me leave that guy to say, because I don't want him to, brother. I give up. No, continue.
Yeah. The point is, Maduro's big mistake is that he should have given a cut of the oil to America, period. Chavez came in, he was doing the socialism problems. He had socialism, he was helping Cuba, was saying socialism, we're going to share the resources with the poor and everything. He had free education, free healthcare, all that works. That was it. And Maduro continued with it. Had he said, you know what, I'm going to bring back the Americans, cut off the Cubans, cut off everything, he won't have any problem. That is why you don't have any problem with CC and all this kind of thing. And that's why I'm getting fed up hearing all the story coming from real colonization. It doesn't just go around in circles.
Brother, it's your turn now. Forget what I say. Educate us now. Educate us.
The facts are the facts. If you want to stay in government, you need to give them what they want. You understand? It's as simple as that. As Maduro done that from day one, it will not be in the position it is in right now, because that is how politics work in the third world. If they want what you've got, you give it to them, like what has happened in Congo, DRC Congo. And that's why DRC Congo can be as corrupt and incompetent as they are right now. They can't even fight a small Rwanda, but America is ready to work with them. And that's the same problem with Maduro. Maduro, from day one, I was saying, come on, man, this is what the American wants. Share the resources with them, and you stay in power if you want to stay in power. But if you want to start playing this, what Shore is doing in the Nigeria revolution, everything, we're not going to get caught. Influence, power, this is our backyard, is out. Simple. And that's all. That's all you need to know. You have a resource. Do you want to keep it for your people, or do you want to share it with the West? You make that decision. Guyana is not being taken up because they share their resources with the West, especially America. And that's the game. And that's why they're in the country. The other political leaders are prepared to do that. That's why America supported them. You understand? And Maduro went against that. And then they strangulated this country. When your country can't even sell your oil, what happens? You can't, and that's your main export. Your economy crashes. And then you go, I have a house I travel to Dominican Republic a lot. I meet a lot of Venezuelans. They have to leave because you can't even survive. And that is as simple as that. So, you can sit down and say, it doesn't matter. It's hypocrisy to sit down and say, they support the government because of Democrat. Nobody cares about democracy. Democracy in the third world is nonsense. Nobody cares about it. It's about what you as a country can give to the West. And if you're valuable to them, they'll support you. If you're not, you're out, period.
Yeah,
so,
and sometimes you can actually make yourself valuable, and that's the problem we don't know how to do.
Yes,
we don't know how to make ourselves valuable to them, so they can actually support us. I've seen countries that did it, that made themselves valuable to the US, and that the US had to. Yeah, I think about Israel did the same thing. Israel forced America to pay attention to them, to take them seriously. You have to make yourself valuable in this life.
Those are governance skills that we don't have to make ourselves relevant. And when you're relevant to them, and we've got interest in your state, we are not going to worry about you. And you can be playing the game, then you can keep on going on. And that's why even Nigeria is not having a problem. Nigeria is now trying to make sure that they're a friend of America. You don't see they're going against Israel and everything. That's why Tinubu, we will not remove him. They will have election 2027. I can guarantee you on my life, Tinubu wins that election and nobody complains. It will cheat so much. You complain also done, and nothing will happen. Why? Because he's giving them what they want. You understand? They're not.
And Tinubu will. Tinubu surely will. For sure.
He will.
Anything they ask him, if they tell him we need 10,000 Nigerians chained, and he will give them. He will not hesitate. So that's for sure.
So this is the game we are playing. And the point you made at the earlier stage that there's a new world order, and that new world order is due to China, America first, then you have the other countries, Russia, or the European countries there second, and then all of us, we're there. Who
whatever they decide your fate is, that's what happens.
That's it. So I'm done. See, if I was in Nigeria right now, if I'm looking at democracy, I don't think we're civilized for it. So I won't even worry about democracy. I'll be sitting and say, can we even wake up in reality and say, look at Tinubu, Peter Obi, Atiku, come together and have a government that is just focused on Nigeria's interests. I know I'm dreaming here, but that's the only way you can go, because this democracy we're playing, it's a waste of time. We know the outcome. We all know that the outcome is that there's going to be cheating. And we know the outcome is there's going to be cheating in the outcome, then what is going to happen? You understand? And then we fight each other, we'll be so weak, and then they will come in and take what they want. So I'm not here to waste my time saying.
Let me just do some paperwork. But I just hold on for a second. So before you go, people that are watching on Injenje Media, our great brother at Injenje Media TV, please move over. The link is there. Go to Niger and continue watching if you want to carry on watching, because you are due to be disconnected in about 2 minutes, because I need to disconnect from all this channel, because the Dr. Damages Have Your Say show is due in about under 2 hours. So I will need to go to Niger to avoid so they can make space for them a little bit. So in about 5 minutes in Injenje Media, you have 5 minutes to move to Niger. You have the link on the screen there. You will see the live stream. You can carry on watching before Kwara gives his response. And the same for there's another link there that I included that is direct to the actual page. If you follow this link, I think it's CT1-TAM4WCO. After YouTube, you get to the live stream so that you can be able to carry on watching. So you want to move over there now. And also while you are there, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much. So Okpara, thank you for joining us. I know we let me hear you. I don't know where you're going to be coming from on this one. So what do you make of this development?
The development is, I just want to add, because a house divided itself can never stand. If you go to, media now, social media like X, Venezuelans are celebrating. In Caracas, there is no violent protest against removal of their so-called socialist president. They are celebrating. They are removing all his status, including Hugo Chavez status, everywhere in Caracas. People are trooping into the cities, celebrating the removal of a dictator. So excuse me, I will log off.
Well, let the guy talk now. Let him talk.
Hold on. I'm looking, but you can't just come and start spreading propaganda without evidence. Where is the evidence? I'm not seeing that.
No, but you
I can show you the pages. I can show, let me show you now.
People, most of they organized by the CIA probably.
And that too they do. So that is not exactly new. That is not new.
This conspiracy theory.
Hold on. I don't believe the poor people of Venezuela will come out and start celebrating. Hold on, Venezuela. See, I don't believe the poor people that he is supporting in Venezuela will come out. See, Okpara, hold on.
Who told you he's supporting the poor forefathers? Who told
because
you
you don't seem, but you've not bothered to check, have you?
We have been checking like you now. We are checking like you.
But I'm telling you now, that's what Hugo Chavez represented, and that's what he represents. He was one giving housing to poorer people, giving them income and all the rest. So, Okpara, hold on. See, I need people to be consistent here. If you say you are for the poor people in Nigeria, why are you not for the poor people in those countries? You would rather they sell their people to America. That's the one you would rather, because you support Trump.
Yeah, Nigerians, 79% of Nigerians support Trump. So what do you expect? They like that kind of gangster.
I think because they feel like Trump fights for them. I can understand that.
Forefathers. How are you sure that poor Venezuelans are benefiting from this man and Hugo Chavez? How do you know? Because
the data is there. You want me to check it for you so that you can see?
How do you know?
The data is there.
It's just like what is happening like Iran now. If somebody remove the mullahs in Iran, you guys will come here and say they intervene in Iran local domestic affairs. What are we talking about?
See, Iran is different. Iran, the mullahs
it's not different. It's not different at all.
Iran is not socialist. There's a difference.
It's not different at all.
Okpara is a bit different because
how can you pretend as if you don't know this thing? They are telling you the truth. These people, this Maduro represent a party.
Excuse me, go to X as and look at what is happening in Caracas. Go to X. Go to X and see what is happening in Caracas.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to X now since you asked.
Yes.
Let's see X. Venezuela.
Caracas.
Okay. Caracas.
Go to Caracas. Go and see what is happening. I'm on X here. Let us be honest with ourselves.
I would like to see what you are talking about, because
share the link.
Like I'm people celebrated when Gaddafi was killed, though.
No, there's always somebody that will celebrate. That's the truth. There's always somebody that will celebrate.
So where are the millions of the poor? Where are the millions? The millions should come out on the street now and support Maduro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The poor people that he's trying, he's sustaining should come out now and demonstrate.
To jubilate on the street.
The poor people should just troop into the Caracas now and start.
My brother, leave these guys alone. They have their conspiracy theory.
Where is the jubilation now? Because I just searched Caracas and I've been scrolling. I've not seen one jubilation that you're talking about.
I saw it. There were like 400 to 500 people.
Where is it? Can you send the link so I can show the people so that they can see? Because if people, okay, is it this one they're talking about? Caracas, if people have celebrated, of course, there's always people that will celebrate.
But excuse me, forefather, this is very simple now. I'm saying, let the poor that this man and Hugo Chavez have been sustaining, they should troop in, out now and support this man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Where are these poor people?
Okay, you see. Okay, you think they will cover them? Did you go inside?
Where are the poor people?
Where are the poor people? Hold on, calm down. This is how many minutes, how many hours where this happened. You are going to see the poor people. They are going to come out and their voices are going to be. And hold on. Their voices are going to be suppressed. It's not going to matter what they think.
By who?
How many? Hold on. How many Nigerian?
How many?
Calm down. How many Nigerian poor people have you heard their voices? How many? When these people take over your country, your voice is nothing. They will not even care. Do you know that in the last?
Did you see what happened in Sokoto? The people rejoicing in Sokoto. Did you see it?
See, I keep telling you, no matter hold on. If you remove Trump from office right now, you will see the bigger celebration in America. If you remove Trump from office right now, you will see a bigger celebration in America.
if what did the recent,
no, my point is that don't be
about
people are celebrating.
Unreasonable.
Was it not Valhalla that said that there's always people that are internal enemies of a nation that will always support that nation be getting invaded and recolonized? There are people that always do that.
Chief, how was Nigeria colonized in the first place? Because there were people there that prepared to link up with the invaders. So that's understandable. But the point is that the question I was going to ask Mr.
Hold on. Is this against? Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Because the only one I saw so far, I'm not even sure it was against Maduro, because Maduro's picture is there. When is this one? Is it today? 2 hours? Are they supporting him or against him?
I think these are the ones supporting him before
the ones that are against him was taken from a balcony from upstairs, and the sun was still shining, was quite shining. It's still like, what's the time right now?
Yeah, the sun just came out. I think
this one is not the one. This was what happened at night. Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
Somewhere there.
Are you sure it was Venezuela?
I believe it will be true. I believe there will be people celebrating. I don't think Mazi will be lying. I think there will be a celebration.
I don't think it's unheard of.
You don't make conclusions based on statistically insignificant, marginal. How can you make such conclusions?
People celebrating.
People respect what you say on the forum.
Sorry, may I add to this? There are many people out there that are for this man Maduro.
Of course,
and there are many, and they are commenting on you.
That's why I said there will be people that will.
I can see it now. So people all this one I'm seeing here, it says free Venezuela lives. So people are complaining. All the ones I've seen so far, I've seen more. I've seen
more for the Maduro. I've seen more for Maduro.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here too. I don't know what this guy is saying.
That's the first minister.
That's what I'm seeing here too. I don't know what this guy is saying. Recolonization. I really think maybe you don't really know what these Venezuelan leaders represent. Maybe that's why you felt like it was right for Trump to remove him from office. He is exactly what Showore wants to do. But can you imagine Showore succeeding, ending up in office? But America start backing the. That's how it is.
They will remove him immediately. It won't last.
And imagine if Showore wanted to remove Tinubu from office. After, let's say Showore gets into office in Nigeria and wants to go and prosecute Tinubu and get him prosecuted, then America is backing him and saying Tinubu is the president of Nigeria. That's how it is in Venezuela right now. President that supports the masses, the vast majority of people that are poorer, is being marginalized against the ones that will do everything the West wants. Like Tinubu will do everything the West wants. See, I don't have any horse to fight myself.
One thing that recolonization said that I will agree with. He said when you look at what do you call it, Ivory Coast or Rwanda, to some extent, they've done some things that are good in the country, that even though they're bad or there's cheating in the election, they've actually done some good. So on that basis, there's based on our ability to govern, you can sit and say, okay, fine, they're cheating the election, but there's some deliverables that we can accept. And that's one of the reasons that you can actually tolerate bad government in those countries. So on that basis, I can understand his position there. But but if you look at fairness, you cannot be invading another country.
It's not even about that.
Right.
That is not even the starting
But
point.
Maduro was not allowed to accomplish for a country because they
he was
suffocated
under
him with sanctions.
He sanctioned the
They
country.
suffocated. They wouldn't let him
And the
perform.
United States know that if you sanction the country, the elites do not suffer the sanctions. So they are equally wicked and morally devious that they harm innocent children, women, so that they put the whole way that they think is morally unsound, and someone will be defending such idiocy.
So and
sorry, let me announce something. People in Ginger Media, you're about to go off. I've given you the link. You want to follow that link and switch to that channel to carry on viewing the live stream if you want to. I know a lot of you will be waiting for the next one, but if you want to carry on viewing and hearing the reviews from the panelists, and I'm going to be sharing even more data and that video about what that professor said about what is going on in the world today, that is quite important for people to be able to view. So understand that, okay, we may be in trouble here.
Oh, we're in trouble.
Maybe it's over.
We're in trouble. We're in trouble, Chief. We go to see Iran. We see Nigeria. We see all these countries that we think are relevant. They're going to be out. So we're in real trouble. In the long run, you'll see countries just collapse very soon, as you say. You'll see countries collapse. And you know the Chinese and Russians, they're not going to intervene because it's not their business. They haven't got enough interest to go and help you. You understand? So we're just seeing the beginning of the end. America's going
to... There is a breaking point, but I presume that the Americans know it. If they don't know it, then there will be conflagration. But they have direct contact and hotlines to each other because of nuclear. So they inform each other at the dying minute before they make certain moves. But there still could be a mistake because even the First World War, the way it started, the sequence of events were things that you would take as trivial. But these things, the way they happen, they just snowball, and before you know it,
it gets out of control. But I fear that this is not the Second World War. It's more like the Berlin Conference, where everybody they are just carving their
in our case,
and that is a big problem for us.
Well, it's a big problem because they will sit down and look at, okay, let's look at Nigeria. Okay, these guys have the oil, separate them from the region that don't have the oil, let them suffer. We don't care. There are too many of them in the first place. Elon Musk has been saying there are too many of us, low IQ, population, capture. So they'll be highlighting issues. Population control. So they've been highlighting all these kind of negative things about Africa. So what you will now start seeing is that they will just start carving out the regions that have relevance to them, and you'll see that in DR's Congo. Okay, we can use what they call it, and that country, what is Rwanda, to control DR Congo as long as we get what we want. Vance said it. He said, Africa, raw material, forget about governance. And that's why I go, when you said that you have solutions, I said solutions. If you had leaders, the solution is like you come together and say, government, national unity, let's move the country forward. Not the stupid democracy that we can't practice. You understand?
There's a time for resistance. There's a time for resistance, and resistance for survival. And if we are not cowards, this is the time.
This is time.
Nigeria should have taken the chance to make itself extremely strong and powerful and make itself relevant in Africa. So that when they want to do anything in Africa, they have to come through Nigeria.
Yeah.
And that would have stand us in good stead. But our leader just squandered all the opportunities left and right constantly.
We slept for decades.
Yeah, but you see the problem that problem didn't even start in 1999. It's been there for years. Reason why many of us left the country in the first place. I mean, you can't produce anything. No institutions that can survive in that country that works. Anything owned by the government never works. So you look at it.
Why do you think Murtala died? He nationalized a lot of,
but that's
these people have been doing this to us.
No, but you're not supposed to be. But that's
nobody gets there.
No, Chief, you're not supposed to be nationalizing things that are working. That's the problem.
If that is not their problem. That is not their problem.
China still nationalizes transportation.
But China, look at their culture.
And they are successful. You don't have to follow their model to succeed.
Yeah, but you look at the Chinese model, look at the culture of the Chinese people. 4,000 years civilization. You know that if they have access to those institutions, they will work. They make them.
You know what I would agree with? China did their homework. They did the basics, like building. You build a foundation first before you put the brick on. We didn't do that. We thought that somehow we could navigate our way and we could just start building from a lintel and downward. That was where we made the mistake. Now, China getting an atomic bomb first before actually beginning to do that was very crucial. Now, Kim Jong-un, no matter how devilish he is, let Trump show us that he has a big, on his behind his in between his legs. Let him go there. Let's see.
Bahala. Excuse me, guys. You see, just give me a second. I no go disturb you now. I know say
you come back. You don't come back. Say don't go.
I know they go. I get internet connection. I don't know why. I never normally have this type of problem because I'm interested in what we guys are talking about. Let me tell you why most of you, or as you see me, so I get my own view about what is going around the world. And the reason why I stand with America in many cases is because I give an example of our country, Nigeria, for example. Gidi told Wahala was saying Muritala did something. He did privatization. He's asking, why do you change something that is working for the people? Okay? So why do they do those type of things? Look at Nigeria, for example. Make we fix our country. Me, I don't like to talk about other people. They have their problem. Whether they take Maduro away, that's their fucking problem. Sorry to use that language. Because my own country, Nigeria, we are not faring any better.
They drill our oil.
Please hold on with that your oil. Because if I tell you, hold on now, just give me a second. I begged you guys to give me a second, please. I'm begging again. Just give me a second. Let me just tell you something. You from the north in Nigeria, that place where make Nigeria strong, that place where we they get that oil, where even make Nigeria they relevant in the world today. Who controls it? Have you ever been to that part where oil is coming out of Nigeria and see how devastating that place is? Have you ever been there one day to look?
It's a mess.
When you reach there and then...
So now you care about Nigerian welfare. When you have leaders like that,
Thank you,
people like you are the ones that support America to come and live there.
I beg
let me talk.
I beg you to give me a chance. Because when they talk about Venezuela, I don't care that much. Let them solve their problem because we have a problem that needs solving that we are not talking about.
Yes, sir.
We only, when something happens in another man countries, we tune in, blame America, blame this, blame that. Fine, we know. I know go filter is I know so much there. But back in my own country, Nigeria, what we did to be able to fit a talk today was trying to do revolution by leaving the country. Because if all of us they come to Nigeria where we no fit escape, not this thing me and you they talk, go they talk. But we found a way. We found a way to escape that injustice by going to another man's country, whether not cleaner you they clean, or whether it be security for cold, or whether it be taxi driver. We are managing it. But when we come to our country, for example, where the oil comes from, because why I'm saying this is because when tomorrow Trump decides to come into Nigeria to help us now, most of you will say he's invading a sovereign nation. That's how we now go start from on the top, like people where they tell us say China laid the foundation and that. We have laid a foundation in Nigeria, but those who they call cabals, which are mostly Fulanis and whatever who they call themselves, the people at the echelon, the top guys who give themselves all those powers. Nobody's talking now about what they are doing in that country until when Trump decides to say, okay, Nigeria is next, or the way Israel is talking now, when they come to help the poor. My anger is that most of you that time will go jump in.
You really believe that they're coming to help us. Are you serious?
But they have started and they will do it.
So hold on. So, okay, let me ask him. Do you think colonization helped Nigeria?
It's 50-50.
My brother, that is a story. If you want me to explain to you that one.
You have to be honest with yourself. It's 50-50.
No, it's very, very simple. It's just two questions, either yes or no.
Yes.
Like you said,
yes.
50-50.
Father, the answer is clear, yes.
Okay, no. You see now, you see that tells you everything you need to know.
No,
Yes.
Again,
before you go there,
You
before
told me to answer yes or no. I can explain, but I answered you yes. So that's
no. I think it's a fair answer to give.
Before you attack him, did Nigeria exist before colonization? Did they exist?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No,
The
Nigeria
people existed. The people existed.
No.
But Nigeria as a country did not exist.
No, ethnic groups existed, over 250 of them. At that time, we were having a war. There was a jihadi war going on before the British.
That's not true. That's not true. That's I'm a historian. I'm a historian, bro. I'm a historian. That is historically not correct.
So was
history from where?
The war was over.
So my issue is that okay, let's say we're having a jihadi war. Hold on.
Let me ask the voice.
See, the question is that they brought colonization wars too. We're fighting jihadi wars, but they brought colonization wars, which actually won and defeated everybody on the continent. I think sometimes we try to see things as okay, jihadi war, but it didn't end with jihadi war. There's colonization wars too. They defeated all of us and colonized us and oppressed us.
So let's ask the question: when they came in, they were conquering the south. And yes, it was oppression.
When did they come in? When?
They came in Lagos around 1870. When they came in Lagos, the Lagos colony.
Bro, you are 400. Bro, you are 400 years apart. You are 400 years apart.
Let's talk. We're talking about colonization, not slavery, and they were trading.
No, I'm not talking about slavery now, sir. I'm not talking about slavery. I'm talking about when the nation that they call Nigeria today existed as a nation called Ethiopia. I have all their stuffs in Latin here translated in English. I can.
My brother, you are confusing yourself. To be honest
wait, sir.
Don't confuse yourself, man.
Please let me land. Please don't come between.
All this history that you people use, I don't know where you get it from.
Forefathers. The ancient maps do not lie. And
okay, I think we'll have to make time for that because
civilization on Nigerian soil before they came. We were not slaves. We were developed.
The voice for us to dig deep into that, we have to make time for that. We can't start talking deep historical stuff here.
That they cleaned out Nigeria within 400 years. We're talking about it starting in the 1400s.
Who told you that? Where did you get that information from?
Actually, the colonial wars lasted barely 100 years. It didn't even last.
No, 100 days.
Barely 50 years. They took over the entire Africa.
What is even ironic is that those who are accused of doing the jihad, they are the ones that were actually negotiated with, and because they had some form of organization and power. And
actually, all of them fought. Why do we all just like to make each other look good? All of them fought.
No, he wants to make himself look good now.
All of them fought and they lost.
Can I say,
as a matter of fact, it's Igbo areas that were very, very difficult to defeat because they were very fragmented.
The South is fought longer. Yeah, for 10 years. Yoruba states were not easily conquered.
Yoruba was the first.
Yeah, because the Yorubas were fighting each other at that time. The Yorubas were fighting each other.
Yoruba was the first to go. They were busy fighting each other when they came.
You know why? The Yoruba states were fighting each other at that time. And don't forget they had Lagos colony. That was easier.
Yeah.
That was in later history.
I need to listen.
Rome documented our histories. Bro, look at this book. Look at this book.
We know King Kosoko now. We know King Kosoko of Lagos.
Talking about the British. Talking about
we say we don't know history now. This is real history of Nigeria.
No, I'm talking about going back to the 1400s. Going back to the 1400s. What did that place they call Nigeria look like?
We had interactions, like almost similar interactions that we have today. We pretend as if it's not. We're not that estranged from each other even then.
Yes, we had civilization. We had intellectually civilization in the country at different levels. In arts, in education, in music, and culture. But we didn't even write. As they wrote in the North, we understood that. They had Ajami script in the North. But the point is that at the time the British came in, they stopped the jihadists that were coming down south. Which we
I'm
knew.
not talking about before the Greeks.
They did stop.
When the Greeks came.
I agree.
When the Greeks came.
I'm not interested in the Greeks. I'm talking about.
My brother, that is the beginning of our destruction as a people.
The
when the Greeks came, that was the beginning.
We have to talk about facts.
The jihadist wars came many centuries later.
The voice is a confused guy. He's talking about Greece. Were you born that time?
Listen,
my brother, you asked for a question, right?
No, that is not what we are saying. That's not the question.
Wait a minute, sir.
Your question you asked, let me answer. What was colonization right or wrong? It's 50-50. I'll tell you why. Because whether you like it or not, it brought some value. Everywhere when you're conquered, you can gain value from it, and you overcome it. And we overcame it when we learned their ways of life. We built a system. So you can see colonialism worked for us, because if you look at Nigeria today, look at the North. They were dominated by a jihadist culture, Sharia law, everything there. And look how backward they are, and look compared to the South. I'm talking from a position where I support Islam or Christianity or religion. I'm looking at it from that point of view. I look at facts. I'm not interested in what you write down. There's a reason why.
I hear what you are saying though, but everything, like
backward,
even if
that
then by that
backwardness-
standard, any war has the victors always bring some development to any
Development.
country.
Yeah.
So there's always, you can look at it from that point of view, or say, you know what, better still, don't invade me. Because if that is the case, let America allow us invade them, because we are going to bring some benefits. Because since that's the case,
not now. That will not happen. The Chinese said one thing. The Chinese said one thing, that they had 100 years of shame, and that 100 years of shame is that
humiliation.
Humiliation, and the country was devastated by Europeans. All of them came in, but what they learned from it. Are we learning from our own experience? That's the point.
No. They didn't learn from it.
Let me reply to this guy. I can't believe. Hold on. I can't believe this guy is saying this. I don't know who Citizen TV is. He's saying that I cried for Maduro, but I never cried for the young girls kidnapped by insurgents. Set your priorities right. Can you imagine human beings?
You don't need to answer people like this.
I don't know. Is that a bot or something? Are you a human being at all?
Leave them alone.
How can you compare young girls that were kidnapped to a president from another country? That I'm crying for that one. Do you know, if you let me get angry with you, if you let me get angry with you over our own country issue, you're not going to like me on this panel. Have you seen me shouting at everybody here?
Father, in your point, did Nigeria benefit from some level of colonization? I'm asking you, Father. Did we benefit from it? Because based on what we are doing right now,
the only thing you can describe as what they call it, empirically positive, because something can be empirically positive but ultimately negative. You understand that? So empirically positive things like the level of technology we have access to now, you can say it is higher now than it would have been if we never encountered Europeans. But if they hadn't colonized us, the technology we have access to now will be higher. You see what I mean? That is the ultimate problem. That's the ultimate problem. If you look at if they hadn't invaded us, we'll be way better, because now you see there's a difference between them invading us or not being aware of them at all. If we are not aware of them at all, maybe our advancement will not be this high. But if we are aware of them and the world became like a village as we describe it now, yes, Nigeria would have been far more advanced. Africans would have been far more advanced today. They disrupted it. They made sure that didn't happen. They are busy feasting on our resources.
The negative just outweighs the positive so much.
No, I don't agree. Because I look at it right now.
May I say something to what you just said now, please? Forefathers. That was, you see, I'm seeing myself in all the men present. Until and all of you are going to get it. And then when you get these materials, please read them. Read them, I beg of you. And then you all know what has happened on Nigerian soil. You see the Star of David, when I was mentioning it, people were, I don't know, it just came in just like that, because it's something that
I know of the Star of David.
But you said you shared a link. I can't see any link. Where is the link you say?
No, bro. I don't work on the internet. I'm on VPN. I use books. Okay. I take from their library. Now I'm going to reveal something.
I will return it back.
By the grace of the Almighty, we were able to penetrate them. And what we got out of their vaults will make the whole nation cry. There's nothing that they are going to do. It is still on our hands. I never knew that the sun rises and sets on Nigerian soil, and I have the proof that what the Greeks talked about. You see, it's very, very important that we go really back into history and what our forefathers, who they were. We have ancient histories in Nigeria. I'm working with the foremost, what do you call it now, German professor on African history.
Well, we know of the North.
Wait, bro, please, I beg you. I dey beg you, please, I dey beg you.
Go ahead.
Now, there is a book that I'm currently translating. Even the Temple of Solomon that they claim that was destroyed in 70 AD, it was first destroyed in the 1600s. It contains all Nigerian ancient histories. All the districts are there. Even the geographical description of Nigeria. Nigeria was a land that Israel wanted that they couldn't get. And how our forefathers fought for that land is written in that book. How our name was transmitted from Ethiopia to, and I have the maps, I can send them to you today. How our name came from Ethiopia to Nigritia, from Nigritia to Negro land. That space, say those centuries, those missing centuries in the history books, we have them now. There are 5 volumes of them, all on Nigerian history. From the Greeks, the Romans, all of them wrote about it. That was before they destroyed the whole of Nigeria.
Sorry, may I just ask you one thing? I just want to get some clarity. Do you subscribe to the younger dryers thing? About the Sahara Desert used to be a savanna flush with vegetation, and that there used to be people there. Does your history say that?
Yeah. And now I'm happy that you mentioned that. You see, one of the biggest
before you carry on, let me do this. The live stream is due to end on Dr. Damages, as stated earlier on. I've put the notification on the screen. If you want to carry on viewing, you have to move on to True Nigeria to carry on viewing the live stream, and we have some videos to share regarding how kind of badass, for want of a better word, African leaders used to be in the 60s. I was surprised that an African leader held American ambassador hostage and American officials hostage just to get their own citizens back from America. That is something we have become so weak that we can't even dare to do that now. Then I also share this is going to be very important if you really want to know what's going on in the world, which may be true. I'm not 100% certain, but that professor's this video, I will also have it so that we can view it and understand what he's saying.
Which professor is that? What's his name, please?
This professor is a Chinese professor. I've forgotten his precise name. Let me get his name. He believes that what we are seeing today is a kind of, for want of a better word, Berlin Conference, that the West have already decided it. The power structures have decided. That's why you see what's going on in Gaza happen without, even China intervening or Russia intervening or anything like that. You see, even Arab countries standing still, they pretend as if they can't see it. So there are so many things that he said there that were like, oh my God, that maybe he's right, because how somebody may be right is when you look at the true world, it doesn't make sense. The only thing that makes sense is what he's saying.
Where's the United Nations?
That's when you know that he's probably right.
Where's the United Nations?
None of those things, they don't exist. And he was saying that he said that too. So now all the people that are on Dr. Damages, I've told you, you go to Nigeria and carry on watching the stream because Dr. Damages is going to be going off now.
I need to leave. Thank you very much. Nice meeting all of you.
Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. Nice one.
Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. And we have 236 people watching on Dr. Damages. You will need to move to this link that you are seeing there to be able to carry on viewing. And
forefathers, anytime they move, they don't come to Nigeria. That's the problem.
Yeah, they don't. They can go off. They want to go off. It's up to them. Maybe they have not subscribed yet. So sometimes it happens like that. So, but some of them do join and then carry on watching, and that is good enough because we have to make space for people on Dr. Damages to carry on with the next show because we are going to be ending ours at most 30 minutes from now. It has to end so that Dr. Damages can start fresh. This is live stream. All right. So now I wanted to share that video so that we can see how African leaders used to be before. Then I will share this one first, the African leader one, because for me, I find that really can you imagine an African leader doing this today? Let me play this.
Why the Guinean president will hold the U.S. responsible for the actions of those ruling Ghana? Well, there was the fact that the Guinean delegation was traveling on a Pan American Airways flight, and there was also strong suspicion that the U.S. was involved in some way in the events that had occurred in Ghana. But more relevant was the fact that The new regime in Ghana had proven themselves to be heavily pro-Western and pro-American from day one, and this was not lost on Sekou Toure. In fact, in a now declassified US government memo from Robert Koma, the president's acting special assistant for national security affairs to President Lyndon Johnson, the military regime in Ghana were described as being almost pathetically pro-Western. So in order for Sekou Toure to force them into releasing his people, he needed leverage. And the Americans in Guinea were the most effective leverage he had, because the US government clearly wielded great influence over the regime in Ghana. Eventually, a 3-month special mission is sent by the OAU to Guinea to interview the Ghanaians who were with Kwame Nkrumah. The OAU mission was greeted at the airport in Conakry, Guinea, by the Ghanaians whom the traitors in Ghana alleged were being held captive by Kwame Nkrumah and Sekou Toure. Each and every one of the 81 Ghanaians were interviewed separately and privately. They were also informed that they were free to board the airplane that was waiting at the Conakry airport and be escorted back to Ghana by the OAU mission. All 81 members of Nkrumah's entourage, without exception, refused the offer to leave Guinea and return to Ghana. All the Ghanaians living with Nkrumah in Guinea had moved there to be with him willingly, and the claim that they were being coerced were outright lies. With this, the OAU mission left Guinea to report that there was no truth in the allegations made by the regime in Ghana. The regime in Ghana had been exposed for telling barefaced lies and had no option than to release the Guineans they had detained, which they did. The Guinean delegation led by their foreign minister returned to Conakry to a hero's welcome. It is only after this that Sekou Toure released the American ambassador and other Americans from house arrest. Following this extraordinary sequence of events, the American ambassador to Guinea was called back to Washington to assess the situation. He was questioned on whether or not the US should break off diplomatic relations with Guinea and cancel aid programs. But before the US government could make any such move, Sekou Toure acted first by expelling all members of the US Peace Corps and many of the US Embassy personnel. He also cancelled the main US aid program in Guinea. So that is the incredible story about how a feud between Guinea and the traitors ruling Ghana got out of hand and affected American diplomats and citizens living in Guinea. Do you think that Sekou Toure was justified in using the Americans in Guinea as leverage to pressure the regime in Ghana to release its people?
Can you imagine the kind of gall the guy had? Can you imagine that happening today? That's how, besides ourselves, we are these days. We are so weak now that we can't even dare anything remotely close to this. And to share, I'm just going to wait for a bit before I play the Chinese professor one, so that you guys can react to it. So, but the question I wanted to ask was, given that video, because when I saw it, I was like, okay, after many years, we have just even become more irrelevant. How is it that Guinea, a small country that cannot even hold a Nigerian ambassador hostage?
Forefathers, you need to listen to this one that I sent you.
Okay, I will check it out.
So important.
Are you sure? I'm not seeing any link. Where did you send me these links? I have not seen it. Are you sending it to? Oh, is it on WhatsApp?
Yes.
Oh no, I'm not on that WhatsApp account. That's one of the problems I'm having. I don't have access to the WhatsApp anymore. The number is a problem. So you want to send it on private chat? Yeah. And put your number on the private chat too to me so that I can have it on WhatsApp. I want to add it to the new WhatsApp number. It's a bit of a nightmare because I put it on this thing, so the number seems to be missing. Let me see. Okay, so the question is, let me just ask you a colonization. You see where we were before. We were in 1966. That was 1966. We were on our way up. But clearly, there were so many Africans that were so fawning for. Like, look at what the Americans described. They say pathetically pro-Western. That, man.
In the national security strategy, right?
Yeah, that's what the guy wrote. The people in the leaders that overthrew Kwame Nkrumah were pathetically pro-Western. When the side that you are supporting is describing you as pathetic, you know that they don't like you. They will not let their daughter near you and anything, but they are useful to them. That's what the Russians call useful idiots. That's basically what it means. When they say you are pathetically pro-Western, they mean that you are a useful idiot. But that said, though, the question I wanted to ask you was that look at where we were before. And today now, you have a title that says recolonize us. What column do you think it belongs? Do you think it belongs in the column of Sako Toure, or that of the people that overthrow Nkrumah? Because you normally come across as a revolutionary. You support Shewore, but somehow your position seems contradictory. So what do you make of that?
Do you hear? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. Forefather, let me tell you something. When we carried the news of revolution, when we offered you guys revolution, okay, there was a lot of fight backs. So many people asked repeatedly, what kind of revolution are you talking about? What is you? I remember your own question was, what will happen the day after? That was your own problem. Say, even if you support revolution, after the revolution, what happens? Okay. And this has been going on. Shore has been beaten up. Nnamdi Kanu, who is fighting for that revolution and all these things, he's languishing in prison. Samuel Ekpa is languishing in prison because he stood up against the so-called people fighting the poor. You understand now? So those of us who think a lot, I think a lot, forefather. I'm a musician by profession, even though I don't use it nowadays. But sometimes after, I don't know whether you deliberate about this. After I go home, after one of our shows, I used to think, what so many of you asked a lot of questions. Dr. Damages was asking, who did this to us? Up till now, nobody has answered that question. You, forefather, you have asked repeatedly. I don't know what is wrong with you people. With anger when you ask that question. So now, I'm now thinking. This question you asked, you said in 1966, 1960 something, we are much better off. That was the time we had leaders, African leaders. That was when we had African leaders, forefathers. Guys who were leading without getting anything out of it. That was the time we had people, you will see a leader, for example, riding bicycle in Nigeria, if you know what I mean. When I was going to secondary school, my principal rides bicycle. Our principal, now bicycle, they ride. He wasn't after money. He was living in the secondary school. I was in the boarding house, so they had a quarters for them. They lived there peacefully. They did not brag. Those are the leaders. Then suddenly something changed. We started having guys who claim to be leaders, but they are criminals. And from that time on, Nigeria has been sliding, or West Africa has been going down. And these guys, when they took over this power, they made sure they eliminated all the real leaders Africa has by one way or the other. And anybody who makes an effort to take us back to that good times, definitely one way or the other, they'll be eliminated. They started bringing religion up because that was the only way they could keep people down. You understand me now? When they talk, they tell you, go to church, go to mosque, and immediately you join all those institutions, you're a good person. So we lost everything natural. That is why when you call for revolution, nobody will answer you, because one pastor have told them to pray that God will come and help them. Okay? So now I've started thinking in my mind, why don't we ask people to help us again? Because that was the time they let us free. I know it wouldn't sound good to anybody to say that how can somebody be calling for the white people to come back to Africa? I know it's an insult. In fact, it is not, it's an abomination for somebody to say that to many ears. But unfortunately, forefather, and brothers who are listening and who are with me in the panel, unfortunately, I want you guys to maybe, when you are lazy in your mind, to think about it. Because we cannot help ourselves. We can't. We have not proven it that for the last 30, 40 years that Africa has been going up. We have been sliding nose down because of the so-called people who we adore today. People, they say they believe in God, but they worship ordinary idiot we call himself man of God. That's how I can answer that question. So when we are called for recolonization of Africa, is to have a neutral force, neutral, somebody that is neutral, that can overlook your tribe, because now Africa is tribal. If a Fulani is in power.
But have you considered the danger of what you're asking for in terms of these people you're at? Sorry, let me add this. It's like somebody asking for a rapist, armed robber to come and take care of his family. Because the problem, yeah, in a way, that's what it is now. It's just fact. No, let me give you the point I'm making, because these people are capable of destroying continents. The whole people have been destroyed, and you are welcoming them to your home, hoping that they are just going to be benign. What if they decide to visit the same thing they visited in America, South America, and Australia in Africa?
Forefathers, let me tell you, you see this when we call for recolonization of Africa. We know why. We know, except if we don't want to solve our problem. Africa, let me give you an example of Rwanda. How is this man staying? How is Kagame? Was he able to hold Rwanda together? He removed the problem of Rwandese. He said now everybody is a Rwandan. We don't want to hear whether you're Tutsi or whether you are a Christian or whether you are Muslim or what. And he made sure that since is sustained. That is why Rwanda today is in peace. Most African countries, especially Nigeria, we have to be fair to ourselves. We don't like ourselves. That's the problem. An Igbo leader, when it comes to where they have to discuss, he's suspicious of a Fulani. A Fulani leader, when it comes to the table of discussion, he will be suspicious of Yoruba man. And that is why we are going down. So we are not asking you guys, why don't we bring a neutral person, neutral, to lead the government, so that everything, when they say 50% to everybody, when the money comes, they give everybody 50%. That is why we are saying it. And these guys, they won't hurt us.
My brother, are you listening to yourself?
Well, let me end with this. That is why you see, anytime there's any, like when Trump bombed Sokoto and all those things, you look at the social media now, the voice of the people where everybody was happy, even people from Sokoto.
Because they did not know when Buhari, Babangida, the rest of them took over back in the days, people were rejoicing. The same people were crying after then.
They were all Nigerians. That's the difference. They are Nigerians. We are talking.
My brother, I'm not a child. I'm 58 years old. I've seen Nigeria from the 70s till now.
Brother, I'm older than you, so we have seen it all. So what I'm trying to tell you now is that.
How can you say you're older than me? Are you older than 58 years old?
No, you called. How many years?
Are you older than 58?
I thought you said 48. Sorry, I apologize. I'm sorry. I apologize, please. So what I'm trying to tell you is that, bro, I know your point, but we cannot keep. I mean, those of us who, I don't know where you live, whether you followed to migrate out of Nigeria or not. I followed it because I couldn't survive in Nigeria. I couldn't.
I'm in Germany, but my brother, there is nowhere America enters that will be well. Look at what they did to Libya.
That is what we always say. That is what we say. Let us leave those where America entered and focus on the problem we have in Nigeria.
Let
me address him because
we cannot help ourselves.
Revolution now.
Who has been the problem all over?
It's not true, my brother. We did election last year. My brother, excuse me, let me just give you, let me land so that you move on. Let me just land so that you carry on. We had an election
2 years ago or 2.5 years ago. Okay, that is where I will tell you to use that to make your point. We had an election 2023. They came up everywhere in the world telling us they spent 400 billion or 300 billion, that they have made the whole system that whoever we elected will come to power. Is that not what they told us? People
Yes.
came from America, Germany, where I live in Sweden. We came back to many of, I didn't follow, came to vote, because most of us, to be honest, at 58 and in my own 50s too, we are tired of living in those countries we are living. We miss
too.
our
I'm
country.
tired of living here.
Yeah, so we are trying to see whether our so-called leaders will behave themselves so that we can be able to return home with our children that we had, or even to take them home and say, oh, this is our land. We are not from the bush. But it's not possible.
My dear brother, you live in Sweden. I'm very happy. Now, all over Western Europe, Nigerian histories are hidden in their basements here. Hundreds of thousands. That all of you know, because you know also in their museums, they have our history. Has this same Oyinbo ever come to our leaders, to our people, to give us back our history? Oyinbo has never meant well for us. Oyinbo has never meant well for us. And they
Brother,
don't mean well
Fafara
for
told you
us.
that this topic you are going through is not a topic of today, because when we open the book, you yourself go tired. It's a long history. Let's leave
The
that.
truth is that the Igbo can never be for you, because that's obvious, isn't it? And if
But
anybody
they will stand in the middle and help us.
no, how can you believe that?
They
only
did it before now.
Hold on. The only thing they will do is stand where it's going to benefit them. There's no middle. The middle is where it benefits them. Whatever you are seeing is what benefits them. It's not what is optimal for Nigeria. No people will do that for you. Why would they do that for you? So tomorrow you come and start competing with them and taking more resources from them. See, that picture that I put there is an indication of the path you can choose for yourself. And maybe the next time I'll put a picture of kneeling down and being poor.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, there are two paths you can choose. You can decide to be kneeling down and be poor, or kneeling down and be standing up and be poor. Because kneeling down and be poor and standing up and be poor, which one is better? I say standing up and be poor is better. But some people would rather be in a palace as a slave than be free as a poor person. That is the problem with some psychology. And that is where maybe someone like recolonization is coming from. He would rather have
Stockholm syndrome.
Not necessarily. I guess depending on how. No, I think it's
Can you give me a minute to address this? Can you give me a minute to address what you just said?
Okay, go ahead if you want to.
Let me tell you. You see this picture you are portraying? That's revolution or Daniel. My name is Daniel. Let me call my real name now. I'm kneeling down, thanking Trump.
No, it's not
Excuse me. No, it's me. It could be me, because you are saying that that's what I believe in. So let me accept this,
I guess. Yeah.
Okay. That is your own belief, or whoever made this picture, that we are looking at Trump as our God. But what we are telling you in Africa, it depends on the part you are in. If like I'm living in Europe now, I can have my electricity 24/7. 24/7. I can live well. Look at me. I stood up. I went. I had my coffee without going out. I'm comfortable. I don't have to complain. But tell me, how many Nigerians has that possibility today to do what I've just done, or to stand or be on this internet with you now? No disruption. Nothing is. We are enjoying ourselves. You understand? How many of us can afford that? How many Nigerians can afford to feed? But in that same Nigeria, brothers, there are people who don't know what to do with money, because they stole it from the poor. They don't know what to do with that money.
But where your issue is that you don't seem to realize that the people that are empowering them are the same people you support.
It's not true, Father. That is where I disagree with all of you. I know people who are my enemies.
So let me ask you then. Let me ask you, what makes you think, if they are not in support of them, they allow them to bring their money over to the West, come to the West for treatment, Bring their children here to the West. Attend meetings with them all the time. Sign agreements with them all the time.
Thank you.
That question
Wow.
should be to all of us. You don't have to ask them, why are me and you living in the West today?
Why? No, the question, because you are saying the West is not
it's the same question. You said they allowed them to come to Europe.
These are leaders.
They allowed us
this is
to
not
come
us.
to Europe.
No, let's not change the goalposts.
It's the same.
You are changing the goalposts.
My brother.
I'm not talking about the mass, I'm talking about the leaders.
It's the same. It's the same.
My brother.
If they could allow me and you to come and live in Europe, why wouldn't they allow them to bring their money?
My brother,
because they are not doing something that they dislike. If they start doing something that they dislike, they will ban them from coming, and they will.
They don't have to ban them. It's their money. It's their money.
Imagine,
they don't know whether they stole it or not. They brought their money like me and you brought our money.
Remember remember?
But they are enabling them. They can easily stop them. That's my point.
Why should they stop them? Did they stop you? Did they stop you and me?
Because they didn't stop me, because our country is doing what they want.
No. How can you tell them to stop? They come also with their money to Africa.
The national security strategy.
They bring their money to Africa. I'm not brainwashing you. I'm making a point. You don't have to
drain us.
They're not draining us. We stole the money.
To be there. If they don't make here uncomfortable, how would you go there?
They didn't make here uncomfortable. We made.
That's where you are missing the point.
Yeah, well, I'm not missing the point.
You just said now that Northerners own oil wells, right? Why do you think that they are able to?
Do they have oil in the north? Do you people have oil?
I'm taking you somewhere. Let me follow your logic now. Follow me.
Don't take me anywhere. Don't take my logic.
Okay,
say your own.
Hold on to your brainwashing now. You don't need to.
Yeah, I will hold on. I'm not brainwashing you. I'm making a point. You don't have to accept what I'm saying.
You are the problem. You are the problem. You don't know.
Because you are living well. There are Northerners like you who cannot even speak English.
Which kind of
do you know that there are Northerners like you who cannot even speak one single
I would have
English.
loved to speak my language to you if it were possible. I'm not proud of speaking English. It's not my first language.
You are proud of it because you speak it very fluently.
I am not. It is your mindset that is deceiving you.
You think you can deceive the people?
But recolonization, would you ever outsource your family survival to another man and say, because you are a better dad than I am, take my child, take my family?
Forefathers, let me tell you one thing, forefathers. Do you know the problem the black man has? There's two things that you will see in a black man: greediness, oppression, and wickedness.
They all have them. Trump has all these things you described.
Excuse me, I'm not talking about Trump.
Let me ask you. Black people have it and white people have it.
I'm talking about
I asked you a question. Don't change the topic. The question I asked you is, would you give your child and say, take my child to another man because you think that man is richer than you? Take my child, take my wife, take everything because you are better at taking care of your family than I am. Would you do that?
If I cannot do it, I will do it. There's something they call in life. Do you know? I'm trying to remember that. If you cannot take care of your child, like you said, a good father, a good mother, we rather give it to somebody who will take care of that child. Go and ask yourself. Go and ask anybody.
So you give your child to a known. Okay, maybe I didn't phrase the question well, so that maybe you understand what I'm saying.
You want to change them again?
No. Let me frame it properly. Because you can give it to a family member, because that's fair, isn't it? You can do that to a family member. But if you give your child, would you give your child to a known entity that is known to predate or let's just use an animal like a lion, that this lion is not gonna, your family is not gonna.
How can you give a child, a human being, to a lion for father? Use another thing where
okay.
They normal.
The reason why I put it that way, because the reason why I put it that way, because all the people that were sent into slavery, if they hear you say some of the things you are saying today, you don't know how.
Who sold us to slavery?
Hold on now. It's our people. That's it wrong. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. And you are saying the same thing yourself. You are advocating for the same thing. So my point is that if those people hear you say what you are saying now, how offensive it will sound to them. Like, you are advocating the kind of policies that ensured our people remain in bondage. That's what you are.
Are we not okay? Father, give me 2 minutes so that another person will talk. I think I've spoken enough. Let me tell you something, forefathers. What we are discussing maybe most of us we think that it's a joke, but we cannot come here for 2-3 hours and joke and be joking. So when anything I say, it is something that is in my heart, and I'm not trying to brainwash anybody. I'm a realist in life, and I'm not pessimistic. Okay, so I am seeing what is going on. I know I told you I grew up in the streets. I didn't have that golden spoon kind of life or whatever, or if golden spoon too much, even iron spoon self we no get. I struggled, and I know what it is to struggle from scratch to one day you can be able to afford a rented house. I told you the first shoe I bought in my life, I bought it in Europe. I never had that opportunity to buy shoe when I was in Africa. The first, and that shoe, I kept that shoe for so long time. So what I'm trying to tell you, forefathers, before we call for recolonization of Africa, is because of what is happening today in Africa, especially Nigeria. One man will take everything from all the people. Look at where we have oil in Nigeria. I make that statement.
My brother,
I don't know
it's
whether
an
any of you have gone
ignorant
there.
statement. It hurts to hear. It hurts to hear this word.
It hurts to hear. That is the point.
You don't know what colonization is all about in the first place.
My
You
brother,
don't know.
we know it. We know what it is.
No, you don't know, my brother.
I know, my brother. Are we not? You live in Germany. Why did you go to Germany to live? Because
my brother,
you cannot afford.
I am talking about colonialism. You don't know about.
You see what he doesn't. Okay, let me explain some part of it so that you have an idea of what people like the people in Zimbabwe went through. Like one of the things that used to happen to them was that they will own their land. The British people will arrive. They will take some land from them. The colonizers will come take some land from them and occupy those land, the best land for themselves. Then when more of them came, they will just come take more land from the people and move them away from that whole area.
Thank you for saying that point. What is happening in Nigeria today?
Hold on. They just keep taking their land away from them.
Forefather, what is happening in Nigeria today?
See, the difference between what is happening in Nigeria today and what is happening before is relatively contained, and it's happening between your own people, the same race.
And that is where it's more painful.
See, your problem is that
my brother, we can
injustice. Hold on. We agree. We are talking about injustice. Injustice is fine. I agree with you of injustice. We can deal with injustice internally. But when you step out of a family or a race and you say other people should come and colonize you, the kind of thing you're asking for is not just they could wipe you out. That's how dangerous what you're asking for is.
Let me put it properly.
Let me say how dangerous this is. You don't know. I don't know how to explain it. How so you can get it, because like the Jews that left for Ethiopia and went to Israel. One of the things they were doing to them was that they didn't even have a child. They didn't even know. They will go and have children, and then they will sterilize them without their knowing. And these people now have a patch that they can give to your women so that they don't get pregnant for years on end. They could wipe you out when they colonize you. They could wipe you out. You wouldn't even know.
Look at what they did.
They wipe your people out. You wouldn't even have a clue.
What they did to the
and you just sit there and welcome something like that. You don't understand. You are taking something sacred away from
I want to leave you guys. Let me tell you something. That is what I said from the beginning. I said that it is a very bitter pill to swallow. But if we want to check our heart, the Fulanis are taking over land in Nigeria, and you say that it's okay because they are people of the same kind. Okay.
I'm not saying it's okay. I said we can deal with it internally. The threat is different.
Okay. Thank you, forefathers.
Fulani is not going to start sterilizing all of us.
Okay, thank you. If that's what you think, that is not what's going to happen. But if you are trying to threaten us by saying they might do this,
you have to prepare for the worst. You can't outsource your people's survival to other people.
My brother, when the time when I go reach the level where we reach for thinking and looking for solutions.
No, my brother, you are not on the level of critical.
Oh my God.
You are not on the level of
critical.
So okay, now
you are saying
the voice.
You are
what
going to
is
reach
the
our
solution?
level. At least
the voice. What is the solution? What do you prescribe to help Africa? What's your idea?
The solution is at home in Nigeria at first, that we should get our arts right. That's what forefathers is talking
You cannot
about.
get how long will you get your arts right?
Pessimism, we don't need it
my brother,
now. What has happened has happened.
How much time do we need?
My brother.
Can we go back and change the past?
You are living in Germany, enjoying yourself. There are people who don't have that opportunity. They are in Nigeria
I'm enjoying myself.
That's why you are talking like this.
You don't know me enough to know that now, brother. You don't know me enough to know that. Who told you I'm enjoying myself?
You are enjoying yourself, my brother.
Please,
please. Did you sell what? Did you hawk in Nigeria? Let me ask you. Did you hawk?
That's
yes or no? Did you hawk? I hawked in Nigeria. Did you hawk?
How is that? How is that applicable?
So now you want to move from hawking
because
to
you cannot
potential
understand
extermination.
people like us. I hawked in Nigeria. There are people who are making their daily bread by running.
But yet you are against Maduro. You are against Maduro, but you hawked in Nigeria. You are against the person that is giving free education,
my brother,
free
Maduro is
free
not
everything.
helping Venezuela. Let us
okay. Let me ask you. Hold on. Let me just ask you this question. The voice. Let me ask you this question.
Who makes them God? Who makes America God?
Let me ask you this question.
America is the police, because if America is not there.
Let me ask you this question. This is very interesting because he said Maduro is not helping Venezuelans. Now the question is, what if he was? What if it's not? It doesn't necessarily mean it's true. What if he was giving people free healthcare, free education, free housing, and have a welfare state to support the poor? What if he was doing those things? How would you feel about what Trump is doing now?
If he was doing it, forefathers, Venezuela wouldn't be at this point.
The question is, I asked you, what if he was doing these things? How would you feel about what Trump is doing now?
If he was doing it, okay, now let me answer, because I want to go. I'm going to work. If he was doing it, my brother, America will not invade, will not capture him.
But that is not the question. What if he was doing it?
That's what I'm saying now.
No, you are saying America is not going to invade him, but the question I'm asking you, what if he was doing these things, what would you make of the action of America now?
If he was taking care of Venezuela and America attacked them, I will not support America now. I'm not an idiot.
Then don't support America because he is doing all these things.
He's not doing it. Look at Nigeria. We cried out.
That is the only argument you. Okay, let me ask that. You want me to take ChatGPT?
Give me a second. This was what they were doing to Christians in Nigeria. Nobody talked. When people now started crying and we got a help, people started crying that invading Nigeria. Is that not the same thing? Venezuela cried out and they got a help.
They have killed more Muslims than Christians in the north. Please.
Why didn't the Muslim cry out?
You don't need to
why
answer.
Didn't they cry out?
You see,
the voice. Why didn't they cry out that they were killing them?
Please, do you know that? Do you know how many people they have killed in the north? How many Muslims? How many mosques they have burnt?
So why didn't they cry out? Why didn't they? Why did they wait for the Christians to cry?
Oh, don't leave him alone.
No, excuse me. You asked a question. They were killing Muslims. Why didn't the Muslim cry out?
Because it was America that is funding the Boko Haram. Even the Nigerian army, when they caught some of these terrorists, they display is on YouTube. They displayed the weapons. You know, they have already predicted what is going on in Nigeria when it was going on in Libya. That after the war in Libya, Nigeria is next. It's
let me share.
Where did you get that information from? Where
did you get on the internet? It is on the internet. I will not be your Google.
Okay, I yield, brother. I yield. Thank you, guys. So, I yield.
Yeah, look at that. Maduro, look at all the things I asked. Whether he gives free education, free healthcare, free housing, and support.
Later, please. Later, let me go.
So you have evidence now, just in case.
Yes, thank you for I've made my own submission. You don't need to agree with it. Thank you for the opportunity.
You see, your reasoning is different from the truth. You are not.
Make I go now. You don't want me to go forward.
I just want to feed you down to the fact that it's not about
I they go walk after.
Thank you. I think we should be rounding up
next time.
Yeah, we should be rounding up. Thank you, you too. And let you guys can divorce. You can say what you want to say. Then Zionism says what he wants to say. Then
my brother, it is saddening, really, to hear an African calling for recolonization. It is really saddening.
It is saddening. When I don't know whether you were hear my voice, the voice when I started talking, and I was talking about people who talk like us, have mannerisms like us, but they are the danger amongst us. Now,
Thank you
a
very
conquered
much.
mind, a conquered, brainwashed mind is gone forever. It's very difficult. Now, the reason why I don't put effort, like, to try to put reason into somebody, people who reach conclusions like this are very difficult to bring back. And if you are not going to, like, put them on, actually, what do they call it, this Freudian psychoanalyze them, and then maybe get to their subconscious and try to it's not even ethically okay. They have just gone. I have dealt with people who are Boko Haramists, violent people who have killed people, and I have seen what brainwashing can do to the human mind, to the point
That's
that
right. That's right.
I'm very cautious of. I try to see if there's a middle ground, how you take your decisions, what is guiding you to your decisions. And if I see that those decisions that you meet, I usually fail the test of what a natural human being supposed to do, because all of us need to survive. That's the first thing. If we don't survive,
Thank
then
you
we don't
very
have
much.
children,
Thank you
then
very
we
much.
die. So
Thank you very
now
much.
it's reaching a point where this idea, this thought process ensures that we die. Because if you are allowed the you don't, just like the, what do they call it, the Trojan gift is just to, like, open you open the door, and then the gift is wrapped around the language. Is because you speak their language, you live in their country, you think that you are somehow getting something. My God, how did we become this damn self-depreciating,
Vulnerable.
self-hating?
Where my brother, one thing. I left Nigeria in 1996.
Wow,
It's going
that's
to
a
be
long time.
30 years now. I'm so happy I met you. I tell you the truth, because from your first statement, I knew that, man, this is somebody who is a critical thinker. He's not a thinker alone, he's a critical thinker. It's someone that can see between the lines. Even when you have a conversation with you, he can read you just like that. I understood that one about you. And the most thing that really made me happy, because I'm looking for another brother from the north, Moscow, because we need to reach everybody in the north. My brother,
Yeah, we need to
this country will make a talk am for pidgin.
talk. I'm a
This
beggar.
country where they call Germany.
Say
They are
everybody done the
they are
rearm.
they
Everybody
are
the
in the
rearm now.
they are
Everybody
in
the
the
rearm.
forefront.
Yeah, now.
No, listen, my brother, we are coming battle ready.
Of
We are
course.
coming battle ready. In fact, you will be my brother.
Just tone it down. Saying I then they get algorithms. Oh, just
I
talk.
get you. I get you. I get you. I get you. I get you.
But time don't reach. We be say we must change our. If we truly want to survive, we have to change our way of thinking. And fifth columnists everywhere. You see, even the reason why person go be president before he go enter that Aso Rock, he go dey speak grammar. I go do this, I go do that. The moment he don't enter that Aso Rock, U.S. ambassador don't come meet him. British ambassador don't come meet him. They don't debrief him. Before you know, some critical issues in don't come out in mouth. For you go, they see security lapses, something that is so obvious. For example,
Yes.
now, see Gumi. Gumi is the typical example. Muslims are complaining of him. Christians are complaining of him. What interest is Gumi serving? Whose interest is Gumi serving, for God's sake? He comes up to rile up people, and he gives this posture as if all of the Muslim North are supporting the evil acts of killing, kidnapping, and rape of innocent people that these useless Fulani herders are doing. And we have to be very careful in the way in which we characterize criminality, because the tendency is to stereotype, and before you know, people will become prejudicial and discriminatory. So even because the Fulanis that are doing that thing, just because some Fulanis does not make all Fulanis evil. I don't know
That's
where
right.
this black and white kind of thinking, this colonialist way of thinking makes people just think black and white, and it's intentional. No critical. If you cannot do this critical thinking, then how do you expect to survive? God.
But let me tell you something, my brother. I have great news for you. Oh, I have great news for you. Oh, I have great news for you. You see, let me tell you something from Ile Ife to Zauzau.
Yes.
To Zaria.
Mm-hmm.
My people will rejoice. My people will rejoice.
By the grace of God.
Because I know, say, when I touch ground, you will be one of the people that will be seen.
Of course.
Because now, my brother, you see, the first thing that I want the people in the north to know, and the same people in the east, in the south, in the west, they will see the proof of our parentage, that the people who are living in that land, the people who survived for you and I to be here today, the people who survived, we have their history and what they did to them and what they did to our land. But you know one thing, there's something they cannot do to Nigeria. They know that one. You see, all the diseases that we have in the rainforest, they were the ones that brought it. Nigeria was a promised land that they never got. It is in their Bibles. Nigeria was the promised land they never got.
There's a lot of hypotheses about Eden being in Africa.
Oh, my brother, you will see something that is more than a hypothesis. You will keep it for yourself, because this time around, we're not going to blow our horn outside, because that is what has been getting us into trouble.
Yes.
You know what? Any small thing, we get one small knowledge. We don't sit down to really. My brother, I have done over 3 decades of scholarship. 3 decades of scholarship.
I'm very intrigued with history and our history, and I believe the reason why a lot of us cannot find common ground in this country is the very fact that we are not being told enough of the history of the things that bind us. We do not have our own indigenous heroes. For example, if they ask an average Yoruba boy today to name the warriors of Ile-Ife or the old Oyo Empire or some generals, he cannot. He does not know them.
But he knows the history of Europe better than Europe.
But he knows those all of Europe. He knows them. If you ask, say for example, a Hausa boy to tell you what are the heroism, he doesn't even know that a queen, a woman in Zazzau, actually led the cavalry, led men into battle.
Thank you very much.
If our daughters are trained like this, could you imagine how their minds will be liberated? But no history. If they want to tell history, they'll say, "I'm go back, discover River Niger, whatever." Nonsense.
But let me let you know something. It has to be like this. I will explain. It has to be like this. You see, our people were the ones that carried the balance. If I tell you the metamorphosis of my family, it was from Islam to Christianity, and now I've gone back to our own. Life started on Nigerian soil. Those lines that we see that make up Nigeria were drawn for a reason, because it was the last place that they conquered. It was the last place that they conquered, and it took a long time. They brought their armies from all their corners, and they were bombarding us until they could. And it was those that escaped onto the mountains, into the caves. Those children are us today. And one beautiful thing, our forefathers did not leave us alone. You see, I would like to learn from you also, my brother. Because
I don't know. I'll tell you why. I don't know that much myself. I'm just inquisitive.
My brother, I'll tell you why. Even if you have older people, I want to get to those old people. There are some people.
My primary source used to be my grandfather, but he's late now.
I will tell you what I'm looking for. I'm looking for everything. Like, you know, like in Yoruba land now. We can retrace our story to Orunmila. And I know Baba Yida. I have the history of Hausa land in this book.
Well, if it's for example, the relationship between, you know, I'm from Borno State, I'm Kanuri. So
okay, okay.
If it's that, you know, the Kanuri and the Yoruba have a distant relation. In the
My
sense
brother,
that
it is not distant.
The Nupes are the bridge between.
It's not distant.
So we understand each other better, and we are connected by blood.
Yes,
more
yes,
than a lot of us.
We have the same DNA. We have the same DNA.
Yes, that's true.
Even with all the people in Plateau, all the people in Benue. Even in Niger State, even so in.
That has been confirmed. Because I did something with someone who is a professor of anthropology, an Austrian. It was around 2012. It was even by accident that I even got to know all these things. But yeah, I'm glad that I did anyway.
In fact, if the way you articulate yourself, I just knew that, man, I have to be connected to this brother. I have to be connected to this brother because, you know,
there's work to be done.
We are going to save that nation, and we are going to save. They know that if Nigeria gets up, Africa gets up. So that's why Nigeria is the main target.
I've said this. I've said a lot of times that a lot of us are just, you know, Fela is seen as a prophet because Nigeria has not yet progressed. If Nigeria had progressed, Fela would not be seen as a prophet any longer because we are still in the same mindset that we were while he was alive and while he was singing.
Yes,
this whole thing of suffer for world, enjoy for heaven, as in the talker, and our ability just to stand pain and just keep going. But I have always told people that there comes a place when something must give, and it must give, and we are approaching that place now. So it's about survival, and you know, life is brutal. At some point, you just have to take a stand. Even the pacifists, if you say in no go chop and now only meat they around, what do they call these people they chop only vegetables? Vegetarians. If you say in no go chop and now only meat they around, in go die now. I now.
All right, thank you. Let's run. Let me close out now. So I will just make a short comment so that we can I can end the show because Dr. Damage will be starting very soon.
Thank you so much for the time.
Yeah, Dr. Damage is on in case you want to join. The voice and Zion is on his
Zion is M. If you read it,
that is okay. I get what you mean. So we as a people, hold on now. Wahala. Hold on. Let me finish the show before I go and get into trouble. There's another show coming up. So all the people that are here, like, share, subscribe. If you've not subscribed, subscribe. But remember, there's Dr. Damages coming on in less than about 15 minutes.
They say Trump is in the give press conference. They boast of the illegalities we don't do.
Oh, I'm not surprised. Trump will be boasting now. USA is having a press conference. Oh my God, Adama, you're trying to get me into trouble. I'm not. I'm not going to do it.
No, Dr.
Damage is coming on soon. So Dr. Damage is going to he's going to live stream it. I'm not going to get into that one at all. Because by the time Trump says all the nonsense he wants to say, Dr. Damage is on. Nobody needs that drama.
Now, I was listening to the Polish president saying how that
hey, stop. We are due to close. Don't see. Don't try to get me into trouble here. Okay, let's be our brother's keeper. Don't try to get me into trouble here.
My brother, I appreciate.
I understand.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate you. Thank you for coming in. The voice. I really appreciate you joining us today. And As
Thank you.
valiant as always. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
us. And so on this issue of capturing Maduro, I think it's something that I have been complaining about, that there is significance in this, in the sense that the way we as Nigerians are interpreting it, some of us are seeing it as a good thing. As you can see, some people even think that we should be recolonized because they think that it's going to be good somehow for us. What they fail to realize is similar to what Esau did in the Bible, where he sold his birthright because he felt hungry. Life has always been difficult at times. It always throws you hardship. It doesn't mean you should sell your birthright. The right for your people to survive, you can't outsource it to another people to keep it for you. They can choose to do with your people whatever they like. You are not going to be able to stop them. They can say your children, your women are not allowed to have children anymore. They are allowed to have only one child among two men. Or pack out of this place, go and live in the forest, in an area that is uninhabitable, and it leads to your population declining completely. They can decide that they want to use your continent for their own space base or their own research base, and they just keep blowing up stuff there as they see fit. All kinds of stuff can happen. They can decide that they just like Africa. They want to live, and these natives are giving them a lot of trouble. In other words, you don't have any say, you don't have any vote in it. You've given something that God gave you from creation, handed it over to some other people to decide for you. I don't see many men handing their children over to a wild animal to take care of. Because that is the nature of what we are talking about here. It's not like a benign family member or somebody within the community. We are talking about lions that have been devouring our civilization, devouring our people, and ensuring that we never rise again. And some more people believe that that is the direction to go. No, that is a terrible, terrible idea. As a matter of fact, it should be unthinkable to head in that direction. You have to fight for everything you've got in this life. That's the only gift God gave you. Because if you look at the world,
we're going to fight for Nigeria.
Yeah, the only gift God gave you in this life is that one. And if you look at the world, look at Japan, look at Germany. These people fought for themselves. They fought for themselves. Even when they lost, look at how they are being treated.
Yes. And the reason why they lose is because they refuse to.
They refuse because if America make the mistake of trying to oppress Japan again, they would have done the same thing again.
Of course.
Before long, you will see them again. They'll come out again and oppose, because that's how Germany was defeated in the First World War. And they thought they were going to give them a terrible deal and make them pay a lot of debts and limit their ability to grow. Guess what happened? Germany decided that no way we're having this. And they fought a bitter war that cost millions of lives, and they never made that mistake again. You see, people, they learn their mistake. They learn from their mistake. They said, no. We defeated them this time, we're going to help them build now.
Yeah. So while they learn from history, they are encouraging them not to teach history, so that our children will not understand our history, so that they will not feel themselves up and be proud of themselves. Every one of you should look into the mirror and be proud of who he is. It don't matter what the world say. When you look into the mirror, what you see, love it, and no one can conquer you.
And it is what the Creator has granted you. And
we are number one, the oldest people in the world. The oldest people in the world.
You can't take away the sacredness of life. It's so sacred. You can't outsource it to other people to take care of. When God gives you life and you're able to have children, He gave you so that you protect that life. He gave you a land for you to protect, a people for you to protect, not for you to hand it over to other people. And this is why they are able to call our African leaders pathetic for supporting them. That is why they call them that, because they know what it means. Like, they will not do the same. They understand. Anybody that understands nature and power, you don't do that. You don't become so pathetic.
You know, the Richard Nixon Library, when they released his audio, he was calling the African delegation like that baboons, they were baboons in suits, and he was talking with, if you see, so while now they control their language, the fundamentalism hasn't changed. Now the revival of the right wing in the United States and all over Europe is pointing to something. The world is rearming. People are trying to, you know, something
Okay,
big is
definitely they are
coming.
rearming now. They are rearming. We are the
Everybody's
only ones.
rearming.
It's like everybody is sharpening their knives, and we as
Yes,
Africans are sitting
these
there
are
looking. Oh,
dangerous
what are they
times.
doing? What are they doing? Are they preparing to cook or something? They don't
And
realize
our
that
people are here saying, "Hey, Fulani, hey, Islam." Before you know it, they will just finish you. Don't protect yourself.
that is what is
Forefathers,
going on.
forefathers, but we are not even addressing also at the biggest problem that has befallen Nigeria for decades is religion. Religion has killed the brains of Nigerians.
We are gonna talk about
It's
that
one of the
now. We are
tools
gonna
of
talk about
control.
that later.
Yeah.
Let me play this video that has Valiant sent to me, so that we do this as a closing remark. So
Okay,
thank
thank
you
you.
everyone for joining us, and like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to do that; it's very important. And then now let me play the video, and so that we can do it while we go out. I will take everybody backstage, including myself, and use that to close out. Thank you all for joining me. Bye.
Bye, bro.
And met this gentleman, a professor. This gentleman told him that he knew why we were out. We wanted to get support and sympathy for Nigeria and to explain the federal cause to the international community. And he explained that the international community was not particularly interested in Nigeria as such. All that people were interested in were our resources. And he even went further to say, if we could get robots to exploit your resources for us to develop our economies, we wouldn't mind the whole lot of you being eliminated. But, he said, in the case of Nigeria, there is a difference. And the difference is that Nigerians are very hard-working and very intelligent. And they have got resources, most of which they know next to nothing about. If this country, Nigeria, with all these resources, both human and material, was to have an uninterrupted period of 20 years of peace and stability, it would be another Japan. Because these intelligent, hard-working Nigerians would come to know about their resources, they would use their intelligence and work hard and exploit those resources and develop their economy. A developing economy needs a market, he said. In our own case, you have no problem with the market. Your population is large enough to provide the market that you need. And even without that, the Nigerian market is the entire West African region and beyond. So you will have no problem with the market. Therefore, if you are given an uninterrupted period of 20 years of peace and stability, you would become another Japan, you would threaten our economy, you would be a thorn in our flesh. That was the view of this professor in 1967. And he therefore ended by saying that even after the Civil War, we will not allow you to rest. We will create one problem after another for you. Knowing this, therefore, I feel that in spite of our shortcomings, which I must admit we have, there is a kind of orchestrated campaign against Nigeria so that it may not emerge the economic giant that it is destined to be. And met this gentleman, a professor.